So we got a moment or two while people funnel in.
Hello. Just okay. I'm gonna double check because I'm first doing this. People in chat, can you hear me?
I almost unmuted my like stream preview on my desktop and realized you may not be able to see
Oh,
it, but it would absolutely echo through.
yes. I've muted the YouTube tab. That's what I need to do. Oh, Panders, can people hear me in the chat?
I saw Pander's message.
There we go. Thank you.
Woo! All right.
Yes.
And
This is going to be a stream with a lot of expertise. We have the winners of the last two GPs here.
we
The
sure
foremost experts in the
do.
format.
I would not call myself an expert. I haven't played in a month. I haven't played in over a month because I didn't play. I haven't played since the GP that I won. So
Retire a winner. I respect it.
yeah, retired champion.
Exactly.
I also plugged this on my Blue Sky, so I'm gonna let people know there that we are live. And now we wait.
I see a locked symbol, so we're locked.
Yeah, decks are locked. Let me try. Oh, pairings are up.
No idea what to expect.
And I'm gonna remember to turn off the waiting on decks text for the first time ever.
We got two people looking at it, so one of us might remember. Okay, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
We are good to go. Yeah. No time to wait here. All right, I gotta pull chat up on my phone because I'm not gonna be able to tab over to see chat on my other window. I am a single monitor gamer over here.
Yep, same.
So we have, I'm checking GP archive real quick. 24 players. Awesome. I'm up against Magma Dragon. You're up against Scribble. I want to cheat and peek at what you're on. Death by Jellyfish. Oh Lord.
I'm the third player. You don't have to wait long.
Okay. Catalysts saving 15% on card. What's up?
Okay. This is have the name be okay.
Yeah, it's the top list.
Yes, catalysts.
Yeah, catalysts.
How are we gonna do this? Are we taking turns? One of us reading the names?
Yeah, we can take turns. Do you have it pulled up on your window, or are you just watching the stream?
Yeah, I have it as well. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say because if you're watching the stream, there might be some lag.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Doing.
Oh, Catalyst, my champion, my hero. If I had more time, this was what I wanted to play. Oh, and they're on Aonuma students.
Yeah.
I have seen one deck list so far, and I know who I want to see win. It's not me.
Yeah. If it had promo Savvy Smith, this deck would be perfect. I love this.
If it had what in Savvy?
Promo Savvy Smith.
Oh, promo Savvy Smiths. Well, it would only be able to run one promo, right?
It's true. Yep.
I don't need to contextualize that. People here know you.
Yeah,
they know your tendency with promos. Oh, I see Bant Control, but one deck at a time. Catalyst. 15% by on car insurance by switching to Gekka. We have Teamer Guy Gekka with Ignited Souls, Savvy Smiths, Aonuma's Students, and a Lagaroth Sentry's Apex. Playsets of Forced Ejection and High Voltage, the former getting buffed this month to bounce a non-land permanent from previously bouncing a creature. As well as playsets of A Journey Begins, trios of Igneous Visions and Industrialize, and Abominable Avalanche, and 2 Chronicle of Precedence, and a playset of the namesake card Guy Gekka, Tide of Victory, which was also buffed this month. Lots of 2s in the mana base as well. 2 of each path, 2 of the red-green shock, 1 of each of the others. Oh wait, Sorry, no, one of each
Oh, that's
shock.
Frigid Highlands.
Two of the Frigid Highlands, which is the Czech land. I saw the island, and my brain processed that as taking two somehow.
It's 2 Frigid Highlands with 2 islands and 4 ways to get islands. So not going to be
uh,
untapped very often.
I mean, effectively 6 islands. And hey, if you're stuck with a tapped land in hand, you know what's really good at fixing that? Industrialize and Savvy Smith and Ignited Soul.
True.
Those are really good at solving that problem.
I love that. I love that like non-creature decks get to play Sation of Sun's Radiance instead of a God Divided as their anti-artifact card.
Oh my god, yeah. And this is the first time
I don't know if it's good, but I love that they do it.
I don't know how much it got played last month, but I don't remember seeing it almost at all in May, and it's nice to see someone registering this card.
Mm-hmm.
Not to allude to what I'm cooking on in any measure, but if I was in red with my current strategy, I would probably be on Sation. Maybe in a split between Sation and a God Divided.
Yeah. This has to be the most misses I've ever seen in the Journey Begins deck.
Yeah.
8 instants, 1 Lagaroth, 11 other sorceries in your Journey Begins deck.
Yeah. So it does
Still good.
find lands. So there's 22 lands. The Gygekas is 26. And then 10 creatures that can get hit. So 36 hits. Like, Journey Begins will probably still cantrip most times. There just might not be a whole lot of selection happening.
Yeah, I mean, that card's just incredibly strong. Even in a deck like this, that you wouldn't think have enough hits.
Yeah, this card's crazy good. Wasn't a lot of good artifact hits this last month, as far as I know, outside of Revolutionary's Monument from Ricky. Ah, I see. I forget if I don't think I really brought, like, targeted artifact hate. So hopefully...
I think you bring it for black-white specifically. That's why, if you bring artifact hate, that's the matchup you bring it
in. For like, the Heartsuit deck.
Yeah, for silver.
Yeah. Make an escape, veto... 3 make an escape, and then everything else is 2 ofs in the sideboard. 2 veto, 2 negate, 2 face of the Phoenix, 2 research grant, 2 soul guide lantern. I think those are reasonable sideboard cards. You know, a lot of these are feel like they're pointed at either trying to beat slower interactive decks and like being prepared to try and, you know, pick up the pace. Make an escape great against removal, of course. Veto, good to help you slip under interaction from the opponent. And then there's stuff that, like, if you have to pivot to being the slower deck, face the Phoenix, research grant, both really good at that. So,
love having enchantment-based engines like research grant, because a lot of the control decks are very bad at interacting with enchantments, like mono black control, stuff like that.
Absolutely. Mono white less so, but then again, mono white's best removal spell got neutered last month. So
yeah, I mean, it still costs them 3 mana to kill it. They have to use like Sealing Strike.
Yeah. I guess green has a reasonable enough time removing it, but even then it costs them 3 as well. So
against green decks, I assume they are the beatdown, and you do not want research grant.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, it's card selection and a value engine that's findable off of A Journey Begins as well.
Oh yeah. Somehow it doesn't have the promo is not unlocked yet. It's been in GPs so many times.
Yeah. There's also value of Journey Begins finding your 2 of Sation and your 2 of Soul Guide Lantern more consistently.
Definitely.
And the favorite silliness of holding Soul Guide Lantern against a graveyard deck that's trying to do some combo nonsense, and then you infiltration out the Soul Guide Lantern at instant speed.
Ooh,
I love Aonuma students. I haven't done much playtesting with it since like the first week of KDT being in the format, but this is probably my favorite card from KDT.
Oh, I thought you could do like Avalanche. Avalanche is only your end step, unfortunately. You can't get the full blowout.
Yeah, but you can still deal 3 divided as you choose at instant speed.
Yeah, you can...
Chronicle of Precedence isn't too shabby to be playing at instant speed either.
You know, can copy artifacts too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay, Gygax is legendary. That doesn't help.
Yeah, Gygax not great. I don't know if Chronicle of Precedence is amazing here. Like, I guess copying up Savvy Smiths is nice. This might just
To be
be
honest, I don't see super what it's doing here.
it might honestly just be here as like maybe it's just
Divination?
genuinely here as yeah, divination. And then sometimes it
Okay.
can copy your Savvy Smith. And like if you copy Savvy Smith, this card in multiples is great. Um so so that is
Ooh, next one is
Catalyst's
spicy.
Teamer Gecka. Teamer Gecka, pretty cool. You want to read
Okay.
out Scribble's list? And then I'll get
Yeah,
to
I
read out
just scrolled down to
yours.
it. There's some spicy stuff going on here.
Yeah, and I
Scribble
believe this is
Bant
your opponent.
Control. Oh,
I
what
believe
the?
so,
I don't
right?
know how that goes. That's interesting.
Yeah,
So
you're
we'll
up
get to my
against
deck soon.
Scribble. So this is your round one opponent.
26 land deck, so very land heavy. We got 6 planeswalkers, 2 each of Severin Sparkmind, a Yeshi times Jailer, and Illustrious Shengfa. So both of the Bant planeswalkers in Rev
Yeah.
in here. I haven't seen much of Yeshi, but glad to
I
see a Yeshi coming out.
I have been underrating a Yeshi pretty hard, so Scribble will get a chance to prove me wrong on this. And granted, I was doing the same with Severin for a long time, and Stasis definitely proved me wrong on multiple occasions through their Worlds run. Severin
Yeshi's
looked
minus X is
amazing
a
there.
really mean ability.
Yeah, the minus X is really good. My concern is mostly just that it feels like it is a minus X with very little else going on.
It only +1s to draw a card. That's the other thing it does.
Yeah, but you're a control deck,
You
and
-3,
I don't know if
you
you're
minus
always
three,
going
you
to be
kill
drawing a
something, and
card
then
off the
you have a
plus one.
planeswalker they have to deal with.
Yeah, I don't know. Five mana for remove something that costs 4 or less feels awkward.
Definitely, but
But
backing it
Shengfa's
up with
nuts.
in the yeah, Shengfa remains nuts. I think less nuts than it used to be, but honestly, I can't quite tell.
It's still crazy. I think.
Yeah.
Uh, Weakened by a
In the
significant margin, and I think I would still contend it is one of the best planeswalkers in the format. It's just
yeah, I believe that.
justifying its inclusion is harder than it used to be.
Yeah, you need to be white based control, which is not that hard because of in the instant slot we have 4 of Fall of Volantin. This is a Fall of Volantin deck, 3-color Fall of Volantin, so pretty ambitious. 4 Afara's Judgment, and as card draw 4 Seafloor Treasures. Fall of Volantin, Afara's Judgment, kind of as a package, holding down white based control for well 2 years now.
Yep. This is the last non-variant tournament that Fall of Volantin is legal for as well. So getting
Yep.
some last hurrahs here.
Yep. 4 Omen of Deception, rounding out the counter magic suite with the Afara's Judgment, and 4 Undo. Ooh, this is a haven't seen this one around.
Yeah, Scribble does not want to fall behind.
Very targeted anti-aggro card. I've not seen this card in play at all, so I'm excited to see what it does here. One of Sizcall. I'm glad Sizcall's still showing up after the nerf. It's a good kind of like card draw engine once all the dust is settled.
Yeah, this is something I don't have a lot of play experience with to speak as to how good it was when it was 1 mana, but I remember it looking really nice at 1 mana. I just remember the decks that it was in
Oh,
doing really poorly in May, unfortunately.
yeah.
I think it was in
2
two,
Sealing
and they
Strike.
both went 0-2.
Yeah. Great work for me in League, I remember. 2 Sealing Strike as catch-all removal. And interestingly, that's 2 Sealing Strike, the Planeswalkers, and 4 Fall of Volantin, and that is all of the like removal for things that slip through the counterspells. We're hoping to like block with the undo tokens to buy us enough time to cast Fall of Volantin and kill everything.
Yeah. I mean,
Also 4
if
Root Fossil.
if you want to get funky on removal, Staff of Balance does quote unquote remove a creature for 1 mana a turn.
We do have Icy Manipulator in the house with Staff
we
of Balance.
have Icy Manipulator in the format. I respect
Yeah,
it.
it's. I mean, I I I I do respect Staff of Balance here. It kind of does the same thing that oh Dormant Monstrosity used to do or still can do in blue control decks, where it's just 2 mana draw a card. Um,
I I'm a little concerned, and we've got Scribble in the chat, so I can say this, and we can eventually potentially read the answer. Scribble, I notice all but 4 of your enchantments have activated abilities. All of your artifacts have activated abilities, and you have 6 planeswalkers. Was there any reason you are not on contest coordinators? Especially
Good point.
with 5 planes Fall of Alantin. Because in my mind, I notice this is a creatureless list, and that might be a conscious choice, but at the same time, I see the Staff of Balance, the Root Fossils, Siscall, Sealing Strike, Omen are all hits.
And I'd guess it's because it's a non-bow with Undo. If Undo, you really don't want to control a creature,
Yeah, that's
because then
fair.
you might end up tied. Like if you play Undo and your opponent like slow plays to keep only one creature in play, you don't get the citizen tokens.
Yeah, but I think if your opponent only has one creature in play and you never have an opportunity to jump with the contest coordinator, I don't think it's the worst case scenario.
I agree.
I don't know. We'll see how Scribble fares.
Some spicy stuff going on in the mono base too. We have 4 Silent Lakefront, 1 Reified Burrow. So lots of tap lands actually.
Fetching up those basics.
I guess the idea is we want to fetch all our basics so we can play untapped Silliman District. That's the idea behind this mono base.
Yeah, I actually really love that. My big
0
concern,
Primal Fissure, notably.
Yeah, my big concern with the Lakefront Burrow plan to get districts untapped is Fall of Alantin really wants you to hit those white pips on turn 4, so it's just available as soon as you need it to be. And if you're trying to just rush Silman District out untapped, that means you're probably not playing Fall of Alantin until at least turn 6.
I fully agree. Like if Silent Lakefront is your only blue source in your opening hand and you need blue for like Omen of Deception turn 2, that by definition delays your Fall of Alantin at least a turn because you have to get basic island.
Yeah. I also see Zangy chiming in chat that if your opponent slow plays, you're in a good place, which
Yeah.
I do like the Silent Lakefronts though. Just slipping some more counterspells into the pile so you sneakily actually have 12 counterspells. Yeah. You're probably almost always playing this as a land drop, but that flexibility is nice, especially since 5 fetches, and each of these fetches only has 6 fetchable lands. Control could absolutely run out of those fetchable lands over a longer game.
Oh yeah, you bins them sometimes off Seafloor Treasures.
Yeah.
You definitely bins them off Root Fossil sometimes.
Could be on contest coordinator.
You're unlikely to like literally run out because by the time you would want to fetch your 7th basic with Silent Lakefront, you probably just want to channel Silent Lakefront.
Yeah. So like having that flexibility is really nice.
You can get into really awkward situations where like you tap Staff of Balance, you don't want to land, you surveil 1, the top card of your deck is your only forest, and you're like, oh, I actually do need to keep that in case I need to fetch it later.
Yeah. We did get a response from Scribble. Could be on contest coordinator, but I wanted as few creatures as possible on a control list and for undo. I also wanted fewer tap out stuff at sorcery speed at lower mana values until getting to haymakers.
That's fair.
We also see Kenna Chaos pointing out Silent Lakefront also would be really well in control matchups. Yeah, because it is uncounterable. Even our anti-activated ability stuff, Def Dismissal, that is the name of the card, right? Def Denial? Def Deflection. Thank you. Can you tell I haven't played in a month? Def Deflection can't hit land sources of abilities, so this is just gonna always counter something. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Zero Fisher because
I'm about to say, apart from 4 Root Fossil, no other 1-drop, so the tapped fetches don't hurt quite as much.
Yeah, and I think in a deck like this, the Root Fossils, while it's nice to kind of just rush them out as early as possible, it's not the end of the world. So It's one of those things where it's like that is a like threat in the mid to late game when you have slowed the game down enough. You can turn this into a reborn Lily. I think if any deck is gonna be fine with just like grinding the game to a screeching halt and then just eventually they make it up to like 9 mana and they can just slam Root Fossil, crack it, surface it all in one turn, hold up counterspell mana. It's gonna be this. This is the kind of deck that can do that.
Root Fossil is a very good control card. Like the line of turn 1 Root Fossil, turn 2 leave up, activate Root Fossil plus 2 mana counterspell is very strong. It's like a very strong thing to do on turn 2 that you can have easy access to.
Absolutely.
Sideboard has 3 Jetstream Cruiser. That's presumably just more hard to interact with threats against control once they sideboard out all their removal. 1 Ayeshi, presumably this is our Ayeshi and Sealing Strike are presumably answers to annoying non-land permanents that aren't creatures. Plasma Strike for aggro, Chronicle of Precedence for late game mill plan, I guess. I don't know why Chronicle of
Copy your
Precedence is
Staff of
here.
Balance.
I guess we are copying the one of Staff of Balance.
Maybe it's just if you need more card draw.
I
Two
guess.
two
I guess
two
card
decks in
draw,
a row
draw
of
you can
Chronicle of
flashback.
Precedence as divination.
Yeah, I feel like you'd at least want the you'd at least want the Chiku Chaos Range one that's 4 mana draws 3 with surface. That has got to be more efficient in the times when you really need card draw.
Yeah, but that one has like a surface cost of like 8, right? Something crazy.
Yeah, so does Chronicle.
Yeah, but this costs 3.
Yeah, that's fair. It's not a bad card. It's just a little odd in a deck that has 0 creatures to copy with it.
It does mana sink a ton of draw if games are going crazy long. Yeah, that is another good point. Is that yeah, they both effectively flashback for roughly 8 mana. I don't remember specifically. Actually, I have your MSC set hub that you set up here. I can check. I can check
I'm
how much.
checking right now.
7. It
Explore
surfaces for
Pitch.
7, so it is 1 mana less, but it draws half as many cards as a flashback Chronicle does, because that can draw 6.
I've joked about it, but the Mill 21 mode on Chronicle of Precedence is not a joke. That's a thing
Oh,
that comes up.
absolutely. It's a win con against control, having win cons on multiple axes being harder to board to beat. I see. Yeah, Mill 21, Zangy shouting it out as well. We also have Scribble noting in chat, 0 Fisher because being untapped early was less important given my curve, so I like the utility from the ERR fetches more, which makes sense. That's something you kind of mentioned as well.
I thought we were alternating, but can I do the next one?
I wanted to read your deck, but I will let you explain yours. Maybe we can do like, well,
Okay,
you do 2, I do 2.
So I won the last GP, so I've decided I'm not going to search for the best deck in the meta. I'm just going to try to play all my favorite cards, which happen to be from Heirs in the Weft. So this
What a
is
shocker! I
Death by
wonder who made
Jellyfish.
those.
I know someone really smart.
Maybe somebody who won the GP last month.
I'm going to try to kill people with jellyfish tokens created by Boro, which makes 2 black 1/1 black jellyfish creature tokens with flying. To blink my Boro, I have 4 copies of Soul Space Refit, which can blink creatures or subroutines. Um, uh, I can also, and then backing it up is kind of a blue-black kind of blink tempo plan. So, 1-drops are Demographer and Receive, RECV. Uh, I haven't placed as much Receive, but I think it's pretty good here. It's card draw that I can flashback with Architect of the Intangible. It also just kind of generally filters my draws.
I've been calling
4
this
Agent of
RECV.
Deception.
I've been calling this RECV for 2 months.
I completely believe that. I, for some reason, thought people knew this acronym. It means receive. It's like
Okay.
you send and receive.
I'm very glad I'm in this call with you.
Yeah. No problem. 3 Exorcist of Errors and as the proactive 2-drop, 4 Agent Deception as the reactive 2-drop, 3 Preemption Demon at 4 mana, and 3 Jetstream Cruiser. Up at 5, Jetstream Cruiser, very mean in this deck. It can blink Agent of Deception. So you can just have face up, counter target spell unless creature or planeswalker unless they play at least 3. You can switch out the Exorcist of Errors cards and look at their hand. You can have face up Preemption Demon to have like Monolith plus blink any of your stuff. if you blink Architect of the Intangible, that lets you cast any of your instants whenever you want, uh, which is the removal speed is 2 Downlink Overload, 4 Hang, plus 2 main deck Duress. Um, so it did okay in League. I don't think this is the best deck in the format, but I think it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of like little weird synergies. Like very late in the game, you can do like Jetstream Cruiser, Blink Architect, bring back Receive, crack Receive, and then that lets you turn 1 card into 2 cards at the cost of 3 mana and 2 life. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And sideboard, I have 1 more Exorcist for control, where my removal's bad, 2 down like Overload for aggro, Rebor's Appetite. This is specifically here to counter Revolutionary's Monument, which is otherwise very good against this deck. 3 Click for tokens, 3 Sizz Call for control, 3 Archival Storage for flashback decks.
All right. Seems seems sweet. I hadn't thought of I mentioned in the patch notes that I was mostly thinking of Jetstream Cruiser as a like solid control threat where this is just really really annoying to deal with now that it has flash. I had not considered the value in using it to flicker an Agent of Deception or like draw step Exorcist of Errors. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm a big fan of Borrow. I have not gotten to play it yet, but this card is I'm not sure what my favorite card in Errors in the Weft is, but it is definitely in my top 3. And I have not treated myself to getting to play this card yet, so I'm excited to see you make some jellyfish tokens.
I have been hoisted on my own petard by Borrow multiple times. We're like, aha, I have my Jetstream Cruiser. And they're like, that's your only creature. I'm going to kill your Borrow on my turn.
Yeah. Well, see, the real heads up thing is that you have nothing in play turn 5. You cast Borrow in response to the enter trigger. You Soul Space Refit it.
Ooh, right. Yeah, Soul Space Refit, I believe you can stack. You can either do the leave trigger, then the enter trigger, or enters, then leaves.
Yeah, so you can do the you can do the leave trigger first, sacrifice a creature, discard a card, lose 1 life with an empty board, then make 4 1/1s, draw 4, gain 4.
Dang.
Yeah.
We've gone through 3 decks and it's been about 30 minutes, so this is going to be
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'll do 2 and then we'll go back to you. So I'll do Platy People and Requiem. Monocolored decks. Here we go. Mono black with Platy People. I don't know what they played last month, but I'm pretty sure they played mono black in May, and this deck's the bane of my existence. There's
they're
one
being nice. There's only 1 Chronicle.
Yeah, there's only 1 Chronicle. I can't wait for this to rotate. I say this and then I will small spoiler, I'm on a playset in my 75. I've become the villain.
Good card.
Yeah, mono black trading out the 4 drops in oh god. I've been away for a month. Innerings People
and or Innerings People.
Yeah, Innerings People was, I know, the one that was very commonly played in mono black control. And that has been traded out for Corpse Pyre Fiend, which is very, very good with Data Weaver. Oh my goodness. We've also got a playset of Exorcist of Errors, 1 Downlink Overload, and 4 Damned to Hells in the instant slot, a single Chronicle Extinction as a sorcery, and then a whole bunch of enchantments, including a playset of Laystone of Ruin, playset of Phenax's Touch, pair of Pull of Tizerus, playset of Earthly Penchants, and 3 The Path of Phoenix.
What is Laystone of Ruin doing here?
If I had to guess, it is doing Corpse Pyre Fiend Data Weaver things.
Oh, it gets you more things that you could get with your Corpse Pyre Fiend.
Yeah, and my favorite thing here is I love that the buff to Corpse Pyre Fiend has made it so the core function of the card doesn't do anything. That long paragraph at the bottom of the card text it could have some relevance in some matchups depending on what your opponent's on, but for the most part, this is just a scavenging ooze. It is a scavenging ooze that draws you those cards with Data Weaver.
And accelerates your earthly penchants. And
yeah. Damn to Hell might be my least favorite card in Kitsuo, but that is not necessarily because I think it is like atrocious. It's just, what a shocker, I don't like black board wipes.
You've stuck with this format for a long time as someone who doesn't like black board wipes. For a format that's been quite famous for its very good black board wipes.
Yeah, I know. I suffer, and I cannot say I do so in silence. Playset of Heat Ludicons and 21 Swamps for 25 lands. I don't know how I feel about 25 lands here. It's like, I don't know.
We can draw cards with Phoenix's Touch, and
Yeah.
I agree that I would. I guess I agree that I would expect 24 from this. I guess we want to hit Damn to Hell on 5 every game. That's the reason we're on 25.
Yeah. And I guess, like, we can draw with Phoenix's Touch, but also, Laystone Ruins 2 through 4 are cantrips. So.
That's true.
So yeah, this sure is mono black control. Panders shouts out, deck looks sweet. Yeah. I gripe about mono black. I gripe about Damn to Hell. I gripe about Chronicle of Extinction. I will not deny that this deck is cool. I'd be a liar if I said it was. If I claimed that this deck was not cool, I would be a liar. And I am many things, but a liar is not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sideboard includes, paradoxically, one of my favorite planeswalkers in the format, Silly Syndicate Pariah. Don't ask how that works, that this is one of my favorite planeswalkers, but I don't like mono black control board wipes. 3 Duress, 4 Forget Their Names, 2 Forced Shutdown, 2 Cull Populace, 1 Pull of Tyzerus to go with the 2 in the main, and then a pair of Clicks. Not of Nylon.
Yep. Click interesting as like your anti-tokens card when you have access to Chronicle of Extinction.
Yeah. I mean, this does it for 2 mana instead of 4.
That's true. Yep. I mean, Tokens deck are fast. 4 Forget Your Names does, I think, further justify Lanestone of Ruin. Against like combo decks, Forget Their Names plus Lanestone of Ruin means you really will get your man.
I mean, even outside of combo, like this, in my mind, Forget Their Names is also just kill target control player. Like Laystone mills over, or like they use a counter spell on one of your threats, and then you just forget their name, strip all of that counter spell away. You can
I'm generally pretty low on like spending real cardboard on stuff like that, but
yeah, I think in a slow enough matchup though, like there's value to that. Like if you can stop, for example, Scribble's deck, if you can get one of those 200 hidden pillars in the graveyard, you can just guarantee the other one's never going to kill you. It's not amazing, but
well, if you're wondering what Platypeople was on last month Platypeople made it to finals with golems.
With golems, right? I shouted that out in the patch notes video. How did I forget that? Because they qualified from that. They're in Worlds now. How did I forget that? Anyways, all right. I'm
built this deck.
I'm very, very put together right now. Evidently. After that, we have Requiem's Mono Red. I believe you may have had a Mono Red run recently. Yeah.
No, this is Liz's deck.
Oh, Liz was the one on the Mono Red run.
You can tell it's Liz's deck because there's 4 main deck conscript.
I don't think that's necessarily a marker of it being Liz's deck, because Conscript is just good in an Ephemia deck. Like,
oh, yeah, like I feel like Liz pioneered like just main deck conscript.
In my mind, I give that credit to PTM.
Oh, right, PTM did do that.
Yeah, because PTM was the mono red player in my mind. and we mourn for Emblazoned Hooligan every day. I miss Emblazoned Hooligan so much, even though I played it 0 times. I may or may not have drafted it in the Curator's Cube draft before this.
Well, now we have first strike attacking creatures. That's how we're gonna deal with blockers.
Yeah. The way we deal with blockers is one of Cash Thrasher, and then Fabricated Anomaly, making things just unbearable to block. Leveraging the Rage Cloak Shifter buff here, plays out of Savvy Smiths. Zangy says, kill those treasure tokens. What's killing those treasure
For click.
tokens? Oh, yeah.
Click instead of Chronicle.
Yeah. For all of those Dragon Age decks that are still kicking around. Oh, poor Dragon Age. I want that deck to be good. I don't think it's gonna get there anytime soon.
Well, we'll see NY buffs in a few months.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how November shapes up. But yeah, Ephemia, Ironcliff Blaster, Rage Cloak, Shifter as the 1-drops. Shifter with the buff, just back to being one of Red's best 1-drops, where it belongs, quite frankly. Playset of Savvy Smiths, playset of Fabricated Anomalies, and a singleton Cash Thrasher. Although there are 3 more in the sideboard, so I guess if you really are worried about people blocking, that's how you get around it. 3 Reply to the Call, 3 Face of Animosity, 4 Momentous Charge, 3 Bleeding Out, and 2 High Voltage. So lots of combat tricks, lots of heroic triggers with Ephemia. Plenty of ways to buff up the Ironcliff Blaster and trigger Savvy Smith. 4 of Conscript with the quiet mode of get rid of a blocker and give your 2-drop haste. 2 Grip Festivarium, 21 Mountains. And then alongside the 3 Cash Thrashers in the sideboard, there is 2 Koyos, 1 more Bleeding Out, 1 more High Voltage, 4 Igneous Visions, 2 Terminal Impact, and 2 Soul Guide Lantern. Are we... we have had 1 deck, I believe, 2 decks, because you're not on it either. 2 decks not on Soul Guide Lantern.
Yeah, I was making the hard read that I would not see Extraction Mission and I'd see Igneous Visions instead, which so far looks like what's happening.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I played against stuff like this. It looks like an aggro deck, and it is an aggro deck, but it can grind really hard. Savvy Smith, Cash Thrasher, Fabricated Anomaly. I mean, this deck just does not run out of gas very often.
absolutely. Yeah, Anomaly is just one of the best grind tools in the format, I think. If you are trying to punch your opponent to death, but you're worried that your opponent might be able to stop you, Fabricated Anomaly is how you get around that, just every time.
I have like Preemption Demon, the puzzle box token multiple times, and I've been happy to do it.
Oh yeah. In fact, I would go so far as to say one of my biggest concerns with the mention earlier of Ayeshi times Jailer, can't exile the puzzle blocks for 0.
That's true.
I don't know if that's super big. That is a marker in favor of the Gaigeka's inclusion of Forced Ejection, though, because that can now bounce the puzzle box token.
Yep,
one more win in Forced Ejection's boat. We got note from Scribble. Almost ran 1 each of Soul Guide Lantern, Faces of the Faceless, and Archival Storage. Then I remembered I had Surface and Flashback spells. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd do it.
Archivals. Yeah, the symmetrical ones are you have to be kind of specific. I love the sideboard Koyos here. Very, very good anti-aggro kind of plan.
Yeah. This card is just sweet. You go to take.
You come in with 8 loyalties sometime.
Yeah. You go to take Crush and Liz decks.
Sure. Crush is on. I believe this is the deck they were on last month. Blue red flashback. Straightforward like blue red instant sorcery things that care about them. 4 Savvy Smith, 4 Blistering Cryo Phoenix, 4 Brass Oracle, 3 Keranos Fickle Fortuned. Supporting the instant sorceries, we have 8 of the flashback 1-drops, 4 Industrialize, 4 Igneous Visions, plus 4 Firebolt, 4 Set of Blaze, 4 Ripples of History, and 4 High Voltage. And only 21 lands because of all this industrializing and igneous visioning you get to do and savvy smithing.
Yeah.
This is a polished, streamlined list. There's no fat on these bones.
No shocklands. No
Oh yeah,
time.
I think Crush was on this last time. No Misty Peak for some reason.
Yeah. Who has time to burn themselves? Your opponent's trying to kill you. Don't let them kill you.
Wild. I mean, yeah, the mod is good enough
Yeah.
in two colors. You don't have to run all of the duels available to you.
You haven't seen my deck list yet, but I am already feeling called out.
Yeah. I mean, if you run all of them, you'd have no room for basics for Primal Fissure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think these are. Yeah, I think we've settled on these are the good kind of creatures that benefit from instant and sorceries. Um, Breath Oracle is the more aggressive one. Blistering Cryo Phoenix is the more value one. Keranos somewhere in between. In the sideboard, we have 3 Satyr Arsonist, 3 Molten Erosion, 2 Keranos' Judgment, 2 Wormshot, 2 Frag, and 3 Soul Guide Lantern. Wormshot.
I love that this is still seeing
Uh,
play.
yeah, I like.
I
Yeah,
know.
I guess you're incapable of turning on electronic countermeasures, so I guess
Yeah.
Wormshot.
Yeah, I know countermeasures people were like, "Oh, this is just Wormshot's just gone now." Nope. Wormshot's
Yeah,
Wormshot does 3 to the face.
it does in fact it can in fact hit face.
It
Yeah.
can do 3 to the face. It can kill multiple 1/1s. It's just this card's just so casually fine.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm
Yeah,
here for it.
yeah. This deck can kind of play kind of a creature role if you get a lot of Savvy Smiths, accumulate a ton of tokens. Then it usually transitions into a burn role later in the game once it can't get through anymore using Keranos, Breath Oracle, and all the burn spells are capable of hitting face.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing people running Keranos' Judgment, and I still do not understand what matchup you bring this in for. I guess it's Artifact Hate.
Uh bounce a hard suit, kill a hard suit, and
Yeah, yes.
rebuy a Set Ablaze or rebuy a Ripples of History.
Yeah, you're not going to have 3 blue devotion very often.
Eh, yeah. Yeah, probably not. 3 Cryo Phoenixes in play, or 2 Cryo Phoenixes and a Keranos, and that just turns on Judgment fully.
Yep.
So, probably not going to happen, but
Okay.
it's sweet.
Uh, speaking
That's
of
the
Ephemia,
4th Soul Guide list.
Leosaur is also on blue-red, but a very different blue-red. This is Ephemia blue-red.
What is the blue in here for?
Well,
One.
let's
Oh
keep them in
boy.
suspense.
Yeah.
Because it's 4 Ephemia, 2 Ironcliff Blaster, 2 Savvy Smith, 1 Cash Rasher, 2 Savvy Smith, 4 Fabricated Anomaly. Then we have the usual 3 Reply to the Call, 2 Faith Animosity, 4 Momentous Charge. I love that we have Monstrous Rage in this format, and it's not even the best 1-mana combat trick in the format.
Momentous Charge is crazy.
It's such a silly card. I remember like, oh, I can just block, I'll just block down this Ironcliff Blaster. Like, no, they have face-up ability to make it into a 6/4. Highly silly card. Uh, 4 Bleeding Out, 1 High Voltage, 4 Conscript, of course, 3 Edgeland Pledge.
I dig
Oh,
it.
so okay, so the blue is 4 Edgeland Pledge and 1 of Research Grant. We have 4 Savvy Smiths, 4 Anomalies, and 3 Reply to the Call as ways to turn that on.
And then a very low curve to get the 2 more spells condition done. And once
2
it's
spells will not be hard for this deck. As long as you have drawn a Fabricated Anomaly at some point, you'll get the draw 2 eventually.
yeah, and there's a lot of 1s and 2s in this deck, so progress is really, really reliable.
You can even Edgeland Pledge, pay blue mode to target. No, dang, it doesn't work. I thought you could target Ephemia to get Ephemia triggers mid combat with Edgeland Pledge. But Edgeland Pledge is A, a sorcery, and B, that's a triggered ability.
I mean, if you have one Ephemia triggered down, but you uh would benefit from the anthem of her second heroic trigger more than swinging in with her, it's not bad to just target her with Edgeland Pledge while tapping two blockers.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work. That's a triggered ability.
Oh
She's not the
yeah,
target of a
yeah,
spell
it's not
ever.
target of a spell. Funky. Are there any
So
green sources just for the random make a 1/1? No.
there are not. It's doesn't seem super relevant.
Yeah, no.
Uh, and then in the sideboard, we have a Cash Thrasher and a Cash Thrasher, one of Eviviva, four Igneous Visions, one Terminal Impact, three Research Grant, two Sizcall, and two Soul Guide Lantern. I love Sizcall just as a random take that mono black control card.
Yeah. Oh god. I looked down at the next deck. We have so much Ephemia in this field.
I do not. That makes me sad. I did not pack well for this.
I am glad I chose to run Pull of Tizerus because I almost didn't.
Also, I have infected Leia. Leia is now on two each promo and non-promo sensitive, and one each promo and non-promo Cash Thrasher.
Yeah. Well, there's a second promo Cash Thrasher in the main. There's two promo, one non-promo Cash Thrasher. But yeah, you're starting to get people with the like splitting your quantities.
Yeah, but I still see 10 of the same mountain, so we still got room to go.
Oh, trust me, we're about to see 20 of the same mountain.
Okay.
And in fact, up next
maybe
is
we can go through this one a little faster.
Yeah, we should start picking up the pace a little bit. And we've seen what's going on here. Epid is on mono red. 20 mountains. Playset of Ephemia, two blasters, four shifters, four Savvy Smiths, four anomalies. All of the Thrashers are in the sideboard here. Four Reply to the Call, two Face of Animosity, four Momentous Charge, four Bleeding Out, four High Voltage, and four Conscript. Alongside the Thrashers, we've got two Koyos, four Igneous Visions, three Terminal Impact, and two Soul Guide Lantern. We've seen it, and we'll be seeing it again, I am sure. Lots of mono red in this field, and a lot of base red aggro. Just blitz and kill you.
I would call
frightened.
this the stock version of the list. This is like the cleanest version we've seen yet.
Yeah, I'm frightened. We also have Ricky once again on consonantsless consonants or monument. This is 4-color. Looks like. I see forest, mountain, swamp, plains. Yeah. So concurrent escapist, star-studded Sagittar. Alrontan Visionary to sort of build up some mana. There's also Containment Seraph, which I've never felt like I'm super impressed by, but it's an artifact and a creature, so that's relevant for Monument. Fabricated Anomalies.
Here to stack puzzle boxes with Monument to affect the board.
Oh, I see. That's sweet. Yeah, Fabricated Anomaly puts an enchantment, a creature, and an artifact into play, and is, again, as we've covered, just one of the best grindy, like, punchy tools in red. Playset of Archon of Condemnation, which I know the deal is like Ricky is the Consonance player. I feel like playset of Archon of Condemnation feels more synonymous in my mind with Ricky, because I feel like I've never seen Ricky not play this card since it has been in the format. Though, to be fair, this card has been in the format longer than I've been keeping up with the format as of late, so... Taking a swig of water there. We got two Scotha as well, and then, of course, a playset of the Monument, as well as Foregone Pickin', which puts an artifact into play for Monument. Two Fall of Tracks, which puts our enchantment and eventually creature into play for Monument triggers. And a Singleton Revolt of the Palace, which hits 6 plus 18. It's 24 different potential hits for Revolt of the Palace. When looking at the top 6, I feel like that's pretty reliable. Yeah, that's sweet. And if you're flipping a Fall of Tracks off of Monument into a Revolt of the Palace, then you just get to go dig for another Fall of Tracks or any of the other lower curve stuff.
I'm gonna take Ricky's word that this mono base works.
Yeah, I'm just gonna trust him on that. I see Ardent Rise. I see uh Reified Burrow. I see 3 redeveloped cityscapes, which yeah,
Yeah, this is the deck for Cityscape. Four
this
color
is
deck with four
the
color deck with no
cityscape
one drops. That's when you
list.
play Cityscape.
Yep. And then sideboard is a bunch of 3-ofs: Hungry Blob, Looming Psyhawk, Threadripper, Noxious Conditions, and Soul Guide Lantern. I think we've had all but 2
Yeah.
decks so far running Soul Guide Lantern in some quantity.
Yeah. People are afraid of extraction mission, I think is the thing it's best against in this format.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen the ramp decks last month. Those were like more heavy greens. They were on roar buffer exec as kind of from 5 ramps you all the way up to 7 for monument. This has less ramp than that. I think those decks were also on stockbroker, but in exchange it has more value and more interaction with stuff like anomaly, archon, and seraph.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. Up next is H Squid. Take it away.
Sure. H Squid is on H Squid's plushies. Oh, I think I've played against this. We are on. This is a plush collection deck. We got 2 normal plush collections and 2 shiny plush collections. Uh, and those work quite well with the 4 Menelea and the 4 Concurrent Escapist and the 1 Masksmith and the 3 Sculptor's Replica, 2 Stockbroker, and 4 Ironback Tyke. And there's of course, because this is a plush collection deck, 4 Contest Coordinator to find everything. We also have Ozin's Blessing to search up any of those 2-drops. 2 main deck Saboteur's Immolation. That's
It's a sweeper that
interesting.
Contest Coordinator can find.
It's a sweeper that Contest Coordinator find. It kills a lot of your creatures. Uh,
Uh, not a. I mean, you can use Menelay to try and protect some of the ones that it would kill, and then beyond that, stockbrokers, coordinators, tykes all naturally survive it. Um,
yeah.
it's not the worst case scenario, and given what we know of the field so far, a lot of mono red, I think it's going to pay off.
Oh yeah, if it's a metagame call, it looks like a good one. And we
Yeah,
have 4 foreign encounter, which makes a ton of sense given the creature suite here.
not using
Yeah,
the promo
I
one. I'm upset.
you should be. Uh, yeah,
I
I've played
promote
against
that
this
and
deck some, and
everything.
like plush collection plus even just like stockbroker is like that's a thing you have to deal with because they get a stockbroker on their turn and they get a stockbroker on your turn, and that's like 2 stockbrokers a turn until you deal with all of them,
And you
and
can
then
just use
eventually
the mana
that's
from
like
them to buff up the ones that you're making.
yeah, and you can do basically the same thing with escapist. Um, it's slightly slower with like Menelea and replica, and then once you have all those, like even if they stop you after you get only a few tokens, Ironback Tyke can turn them all into big threats. This on a base is on a bunch of one-offs. Why? Okay, yeah, I don't understand what's going on with this monobase. But
Multiple soul spaces and stack
yeah,
conviviplex and buffer reconservatory. Oh, you know what I think on the soul spaces? Contest
yeah,
coordinator. They are hits.
they are in fact hits for Contest Coordinator. I guess that's a slight
So
upside on them.
so only 2 planes, but 5 lands that Contest coordinator can find between the soul spaces and the conviviplex. I don't know if that's better than just running more planes, but
Oh, there's also 2 Penrath District. They turn on Penrath District.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this is a yeah. This monobase looks like it's willing to accept a few more tap lands than normal for some more late game value, which does make sense given that one of the common things this deck does is generate just like ludicrous quantities of mana with any of the Monodorks plus plush collection.
Yeah.
Sideboard has 3
Oh,
melons
um
against people who have removal, 3 Masksmith against people who have artifacts, enchantments, or graveyards, 2 Illusory Savior, once again for removal, 3 Looming Cyclops for tokens, and 4 Crumbling Tower for people who have, once again, removal for your creatures.
yeah. Do you want to note for panders because asking if Tyke can search up these lands. Tyke only gets a basic.
Yep.
But the soul spaces are typed well enough that Coordinator can get the soul spaces as well as the stack Convivoplex. The Buffer Reconservatory might be a little harder to find, though. But yeah.
Buffer Conservatory, I assume you are leveling that up with mana from creatures mostly.
Yeah, I mean, Escapist plus Plush Collection does that pretty fast, I'm sure.
Yep. This deck, it's a simple game plan, but it is quite scary. And even without Plush Collection, it's just like a very solid beatdown plan.
Oh, yeah.
Magma Dragon is on Swablu jumps the gun because we're back on Stratus Fledgling. We left Stratus Fledgling behind for a moment to try to combo off with Calaf for 1 month, but we're not doing that anymore. We are back on 4 Whitecliff Pilgrim. Love to see Whitecliff Pilgrim. 4 Stratus Fledgling. 4 Renowned Rough Rider. Okay. 4 Synod of Sanctions. Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Kills tokens
4
outright.
Plasma Strike. 4 Walk the Dead Path. 4 Death Deflection. 4 Sealer Treasures. And 4 Jump. Ooh, Jump. Yeah, Jump is good with Stratus Fledging and very good with Rough Rider and very good with Synod of Sanctions. I like this.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of white, blue, blink, kind of blink weather mid-range. I've not seen much Synod of Sanction, but this card looks deeply mean.
Yeah. It is. I have not gotten to play much of it or against it, but what I know of it, it is very, very much deeply mean. In fact, I believe it was something that almost made the cut in my list. I don't think it quite got there, but I was very close.
Nice. And then our weather package is 1 Sea Breeze, 1 Rain Dance, and 2 Primordial Seas. So kind of the blue weather package. 2 Onomastic for sweepers, 3 Psyhawk for tokens, 3 Invasion Zen for aggro, and 3 Fall of Tracks for big permanents. Mana base looks very standard.
Yeah. Unfortunate that the Swablu Seas plan cannot go infinite and use the 1 mono blue Cyberos land anymore to just like steal the opponent's mana base.
No, but you'll have to settle for Wandering Renowned Rough Rider infinite times.
Or Synod of Sanctions to just eradicate all blockers and making infinite mana through making all of your lands infinitely and infinite Stratus Fledglings, and you can draw your deck with Whitecliff Pilgrims, and yeah, it'll be sweet.
Oh right, what Whitecliff draws your decks, then you do win the game because you get to leave up 4 Death Deflections.
Yeah. I mean, if your opponent has enough mana, theoretically they could pierce it, but it'll be tough.
I'm excited to see. I nearly put Jump in my deck. It can blink Boro. I didn't have enough creature hits that it was actually good with because like it doesn't work with Agent of Deception. But
yeah,
looks very sweet here.
Yeah. Seems
I lost track. Am I doing the next one?
I think I am doing the next one because you did the last 2.
That makes sense.
We got Kumrak on Golgari midrange. They started rocking this deck last month to some good success. I believe they made top 4, correct?
Yep. Was that last month? That might have been the month before that.
I'm pretty sure it was last month. I'm opening up GP Archive. Oh no, they got top cut. They got top 6, but Scribble knocked them out with one of the only non-Titan decks in the top cut. It was Scribble and Kumrak as 2 of the 3 non-Titans players duking it out, and then H Squid was the
villainous
other one.
Non-Golems players took care of each other.
But yeah, Kumrak rocked Golgari midrange last month. I remember last month at the start of the month was when this deck hit the Decklists channel, I believe, and it looks really sweet. So 3 Capital Sky Raiders, 3 Ignited Souls, 4 Exorcist of Errors, 4 Lurking Virkalakis, 4 Bias the Poison Drinker. Last month that we've got her and Virkalakis. 3 Data Weaver and 4 Life Hacker. as well as 3 Downlink Overload, 3 Hang, 2 Final Fate, and 2 Chronicle of Extinction.
So what's changed since last month? I have Kumrak's last month deck up. We are out Evridiki, Queen of Pide. We are out Inner Rings People. We are in Life Hackers
Yeah, we're also out the one of
and
Cybele
Chronicles.
of the Frozen Faith. So a lot of
Yes.
the Gorgon package gone, Inner Rings Pupil gone, Life Hacker gain me all of the life in the universe against these mono red decks.
Yeah, Life Hacker. I think there's a couple other sneaky ways to gain life in this deck too. I recall playing against it before.
Yeah.
Are there? No, they're in the sideboard now.
Lurking for Colossus gains life.
Looking for Colossus. That's also
Yeah.
that's also in now. That wasn't in last month.
Though that does
That was just
rotate
Life
in 2
Hacker.
months, unfortunately. But fortunately, we did just get a buff to a card that will probably get to slot in over Lurking for Colossus in due time. It's just going to be a question of whether or not this deck will survive the rotation of bias, because I feel like that is one of the things that has tied this deck together in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think of this as the Bios deck, and Kumrak's been polishing it for quite a while.
Yeah. Land base is playsets of Primal Fissure, Profane Grove, and Temple of Origins. 1 Forlorn Path, 1 Miasmic Cove, 2 Heap Ludicon, 1 Forest, and 8 Whole Swamps. So yeah, this is mostly a mono black deck, splashing green for Bias, and not much else actually in the main. Yeah, it's the only green spell in the main. Now that Evridiki and Cybele are gone.
This deck, I have lost a Heap Ludicon against this deck so many times. They have so many must answer creatures. They have Exorcist to take your answers. They can 1-for-1 you hold so many things, and then you die to the Heap Ludicon so often.
Yeah. Sideboard is 4 Hungry Blob to help that green splash feel a bit better. 2 Return to Nature, 2 Duress, 2 Failed Gateway, 2 Chronicle of Extinction. Not 3, but there are 2 in the main, so I do see a playset. And 3 Earthly Penchants. I think this is like the 4th deck we've had with no Soul Guide Lantern, and we're about halfway through. 5th, sorry. Both of the ones you just covered did not have them.
A ton I would bring it in against.
Yeah. But it has been the primary graveyard hate of choice, and then like Return to Nature is the graveyard hate alongside Chronicle of Extinction here in place of that, and it's more pinpoint removal for the most part, or like you fire off the graveyard hate at a moment rather than passively taxing the graveyard or disrupting it. So, and up next is Red Pander's Bear on a deck that is gonna be pretty upset with the prevalence of Soul Guide Lantern, I think.
Oh yeah.
And also probably pretty upset with the prevalence of Mono Red. We have Grixis.
This is a spicy one.
Yeah, Grixis Monument Reanimator, it looks like. So we got 3 Weft Dancer, 2 Stormscraper of Ketaphos, 4 Revolutionaries Monument, 4 Cybersaurus, and 3 Underflow Error for the creatures. Cybersaurus, of course, as getting to function as a counterspell. Underflow Error, effectively an ice for your opposing creatures to slow down their aggression. And then you can reanimate them with Weft Dancer. 2 Saboteur's Immolation, seems pretty heads up right now. 2 Elope. I was about to say it just got banned out of Standard, but meaningfully different enough from This Town Ain't Big Enough.
Yeah, it's a sorcery.
It's a sorcery, doesn't get the cost reduction if you target 2 of your own things, but does cycle. Playsets of Phenax's Touch, Ominous Slaughter, Shigane Manor Burns, and Flags on High. So Shigane Manor Burns really going to make an effort to funnel those creatures into the graveyard. And Flags on High feels like it's specifically pointed towards just having an enchantment and creature to sit in play, so you can monument away one of the tokens and the Flags on High into like Cybersaurus plus Weft Dancer, or into like a pair of Stormscraper of Ketaphos potentially. Yeah. Also, Lib
Yeah.
points out elope flags on high is pretty nice as well. So, yeah, you can elope
All right.
away flags on high in an opposing token or an opposing like expensive spell. You can elope away Phoenix's Touch or Ominous Slaughter and do it that way. Yeah, so this does seem like a deck that is going to be able to put some of these cool engines to use.
Yep. The real spicy thing is that if you cast a if you get a Revolutionaries Monument and you reveal a Weft Dancer, you can sack Monument, put in Weft Dancer, exile Monument, copy Monument with Weft Dancer, get another Monument trigger.
Yeah, and we also see Panders mentioning flags can also haste Storm Scrapers on your monument turn as well.
Yep.
So you can
There.
copy up your Shigane Manor Burns, your Phoenix's Touch, your Ominous Slaughters with the Storm Scraper after giving it haste with flags on high, which is pretty sweet.
Unfortunately, there's no way for Monument to generate mana that I can tell. So you need 2 extra mana on top of however you got Monument into play
Yeah.
to do that.
Uh. Oh yeah, two. I was thinking of the one that had rotated out that sacrificed for one.
Yep.
Um. In the mana base, we have 3 Misty Peak, 2 Rousing Path, 3 Murky Path, 2 Enigmatic Fen, 3 Erosive Path, 3 Sanguine Palace. A lot of paths. I'm not super crazy about them, but lots of cycling lands. 3 Primal Fissure, 2 Mountain, 1 Swamp, and 2 Island. Sideboard is 3 Threadripper, 2 more Saboteur's Immolation, playsets of Duress and Data Wipe, and 2 more Elope. Yeah, seems sweet.
I think all the cycling stuff, like Immolation and Paths, is just because this is a combo deck and it really needs to find Weft Dancer and Monument, preferably both of them, or it can do much
Yeah.
of anything. And against mono red, you will hope to draw Saboteur's Immolation. You'll hope really hard.
Yeah. Having the Threadrippers and the Saboteur's Immolations for the mono red matchup is going to be nice.
Yep.
All right, I believe you are up next because I read off Kumrock and
Yep.
Panders.
Silver has given up on white black artifacts. It is now playing red green enchantments because this is red green Podheart featuring Ardor from Devil May Cry. We have 4 Star-Studded Sagittor, 4 Fabricated Anomaly, 2 Hardy Rough Rider, 2 Ardor, and 1 Thraxes. And all of these enchantment creatures are supporting 4 copies of the Weft Heart. Weft Heart can get Koyo Spear of Karda. It can also work very well with Shigana Manor Burns, 1 of a Crumbling Tower, 2 Majesty with all these 4-drops, and 4 copies of Panic. For removal options, we have the Ever Solid package of 4 Terminal Impact, 4 Abominable Avalanche. 23 lands looks fairly normal, with 2 Nethian Woods as our tap land of choice. Sideboard's got 2 Hardy Rough Rider for aggro, 3 Hungry Blob for artifacts and enchantments, 1 Disestablishmentarianism to fetch with Weft Heart. Well, wait, no, you can't fetch a Weft Heart. You have no 1-1 enchantments. It's good. It's good against certain artifact decks if you can bring it in. 3 Spiteful Banditry against small creatures. 2 Crumbling Tower for control. God Divided for black white. Wrath of the Yeti. This you can get with Weft Heart, and it helps answer wide category things. And 2 Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah, Weft Heart. I'm so glad how Weft Heart has turned out.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to see too much of it, but I remember seeing a lot of it in field test, and always
Mm-hmm.
looking really nice there. And what little I have spectated other people playing Weft Heart, this card just always seems so reliable. And then that is to be expected. It's a pod.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Shigana Manor Burn certainly a big boon to it that I wasn't expecting.
yeah,
Giving you on top of Sagittor another way of getting turn 3 Weft Heart plus a thing to sack to it.
yeah. And this is a last hurrah for Thraxes here. And
Yep.
Pander's also speculating, or rather observing, that Abominable Avalanche poised really well with all of the mono red decks running around.
Oh, definitely. Uh, I still think more people should be on shock. You need to kill Fimi on turn 1.
Yeah,
You can't let that sit in play for 2 turns.
yeah.
But we have pretty Rough Rider main deck as a concession against aggro, which I do really like.
Yeah, for sure.
Thrax is here mainly, I believe, in case you have a panic that's not going to go off before to be in time to be relevant. That's you can turn that into Thraxes,
Yeah.
which is just like 5 to the face.
I also am just glad to see Silver playing Ardor again. I know Silver has a rocky relationship with Ardor, which is specifically that they want to get this promo so bad. And Ardor decks have not always cooperated with Silver. I'm rooting for him. Silver with
We got
Ardor
the
just
Ardor
feels like
Majesty combo.
yeah, Ardor Majesty. Like I've got my fingers crossed. I want to see some joyous nightmarish value generated here.
Yeah. Panic. Panic is also good with Ardor. Okay, those
Yeah,
are two very good sources of tokens.
absolutely. And it's also just an engine of inevitability in its own right. If
Ardor is a very solid card.
yeah,
High picking Curator's Cube, that kind of like just reliable standalone threat.
absolutely.
Zangi is on GG Ice Sub Punch Bolt Beams. This is the reference I do not get. I see some cards I really like here. There's 4 Herald of Awakening, 4 Unspeaking Titan, and 4 Unflinching Titan. There's also 2. Oh, this is blue green Titans. No white, no black, no red.
Who needs bad mana bases?
Yeah, we have 2 Mask Smiths, 4 Ensorcels. That's an interesting deck.
I think this card's sweet.
4 Ocean's Blessing, of course. 3 Crucifix's Judgment. Interesting. 3 Chronicle of Precedence and 4 Omen Deception. So there are. Okay, so some interesting things. We have Herald of Awakening with 0 ruins. We are incapable of activating Herald of Awakening.
We sure are.
It is just a golem that loots.
I mean, I guess the usual suspect with Herald of Awakening gets a little worse when you're just on 2 colors, right?
Yeah, it kind of doesn't justify itself on its own. But like, there's not even a ruin in the mana base. You're a 2-color mana base. You could play a ruin in there. We have more consistent mana by cutting kind of the other 3 colors. We can play Agent of Deception main deck. We can play more counterspells than Sorcerer and Own Deception. I guess Proof of Judgment is just like a card draw spell that will frequently be able to do other things because we're very good at getting mostly blue devotion.
Getting some context from Zangi in Generation 3 competitive Pokemon. Competitive GG Ice was a set that was able to set up on Blissey, which normally stopped Regice from existing. Herald is a stopgap for early game aggression. Meant as a turn 1 blocker against some of the aggro decks on the field.
You can put it in front of a Fimi. It's very nice at doing that.
Yeah, and it's a reasonable. Even without ruins to animate it, it's just fine as getting the Titans online in the wake of the nerf to Ragtag Squad.
This deck seems very well positioned. I mean, the number 1 card I'd love to have in my deck against all of this mono red is Blue Titan.
Yeah. Even with the nerf, three toughness still kills Ephemia and survives blocking Ephemia in a lot of scenarios. Yeah. And who needs to block Ephemia? It's just tapped.
Yeah, but you can keep. You still don't want to leave Ephemia on board. You can keep Ephemia tapped down for a long time. This sideboard has 2 more Masksmith, 2 Hungry Blob, 3 Make an Escape, 3 Negate, 2 Ikurimoko's Presence. What is it? Oh, this thing!
Flash Unspeaking Titans. If Ozon's Blessing wasn't enough.
I mean, they already have Flash through Ozon's Blessing, but you get to do it more often.
Yeah, the ones in your hand get Flash now. We got a note from Zangi in chat. Krufix's Judgment draws cards, makes 2 lands, so you can then land drop into Flashback Chronicle of Precedence. Oh,
nice.
Yeah, because turn 5, Krufix's Judgment puts you up to 7 lands, and then a 8-mana Chronicle of Precedence. That's sweet. +2 devotion to green blue.
Yep. I like it. It's a neat tech, and I haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
looks like
I feel like it's very easy for Crucifix's Judgment to be 2 modes, thanks to Unspeaking Titan, Herald of Awakening, and Flinching Titan all being relatively sticky. So Judgment being able to hit multiple modes. Omen of Deception also helps build up to that blue devotion.
yeah. We have seen so far blue green golems, Bant golems, Sultai golems splashing red. I believe at least I've seen it 5. I believe like during last Worlds there was no black golems, I think.
It was
We've seen
4-color golems. It was Sultai golems splashing red for extraction mission, splashing colorless for alien pledge.
yeah, this is
It was
the
crazy,
goal. You
and
have to be
it
green and
made
blue, but you can
finals.
basically be. There's reasons to be basically every other color in Magic.
Would have been cool to clone, to be able to clone a ruin land for Crucifix's Judgment. Yeah, I think a ruin in the mana base is something I do miss, but also, I think you'll be able to live without Herald of Awakening being able to attack. The fact that your big mana sinks.
Sometimes it can draw a card.
Yeah.
Oh, it can attack if your ruin becomes spell charged.
Yeah.
I literally did not know that line of text was on the card.
I swung with this a couple times in April.
Wow.
Which is why I remember that text is there. I also watched it get to attack in
easy
April.
for us. By playing Platy People's deck from last month because I did not have time to test.
Yeah.
This is Platy People's deck from last month. Yeah. I mean, it's Sultai Golem splashing red.
Yeah.
4 Herald Awakening, 4 Unspeaking Titan, 4 of each Titan, 1 Agent and Masksmith as extra Odin's Blessing targets, 1 Thunderous Avalanche, 3 Hang, 4 Extraction Mission to get additional golems, 4 Slumbering Grove to fix the mana and turn on Herald Awakening, 1 main deck Duress, mana base including the Sky Pillar because this deck puts a ton of permanents in play and you can very frequently get the tap ability going. Sideboard's got 3 Downlink Overload, 1 Hang, 4 Negate, 2 Thunderous, 3 Duress, and 2 Soulguy Lantern. Yep, this is still a very good deck.
Mm-hmm. Only 1 card got nerfed, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. Seems good. Unspeaking Titan still great.
Unspeaking Titan still really makes aggro sad.
Zangi was thinking about which ruin to put in, but didn't get enough time to test which one they wanted. I see. Yeah. I mean, Platy's deck did well last month. They got second. And the first place deck got more cards nerfed out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Tomas is on white-blue land go control.
Well, we read a little further.
Oh, did we do the sideboard?
Yeah, I went over Platy People's Wiffle's sideboard.
Yeah. Okay.
The normal things.
Normal things. Yeah. So white-blue land go control.
Shout out to Thunderous Avalanche being at its most disgusting in golems.
Yeah.
Because you always have a 3 power creature in play.
Yeah. It's just always live. The one downside is if you blow up artifacts and enchantments, you're probably gonna nuke your Herald of Awakenings, but just punch your opponent's creatures then. Or make that judgment call. But yeah, 3 wastes in Tomas's deck. So this is white-blue land go control, but really, this is white-blue colorless. What? Oh no, I'm lied to.
This is Ziv combo.
This is Ziv combo. I've been deceived entirely.
If Ziv exiles a Magnet Ling and a Zale, you get infinite mana.
I see. So yeah, Ziv, Replisparked is the core of this. 5 mana Planeswalker. I forgot that people would be mischievous and deceitful here. Because I saw
Being mischievous
white
and
blue
deceitful.
land go control. I was gonna say, yeah, from the Stratustorm player back in May, this is a reasonable pivot. No, it's not, because it's not that at all. Dante's Inferno, are there any red sources whatsoever? No, it's just a kill. It is just a kill with Ziv Replisparked because you can.
That
Does that work actually?
doesn't, that doesn't work. Ziv is not an artifact. That was not mono
If
from an
you
artifact source.
animate Ziv, he's an artifact.
Oh. What? That's an artifact?
That's
Okay. I did not
insane.
know that.
That's insane. Oh, wait. Can you? No, Magnetling only gets rid of its card types. It can't gain card types. Zale's just happy that he's now one of the other TRX uncommon legendaries that is getting GP play.
I didn't know this card existed. This card looks really good.
Zale
Usually
Titania
these things
Hunter,
have some
yeah.
kind of limiter on them.
Yeah. Yeah, Magnetling Zale combo is neat. Arduous Miners. I guess that makes mana to fix for Dante's Inferno as well. What the hell is this? I'm so thrown off. So this is mostly a mono black deck, kind of
Guess how you
splashing.
find Ziv? We have Ruiner's Hijacking, which we never want to cast. We're going to cycle that to put in our graveyard so we can exile with Cryptology to search for a 5-drop, which is Ziv.
Is that why Tomas was asking about cryptology the other day?
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I almost wish you put the one of Stella's journal in here so you could turn lands into it.
Oh, Unhallowed Voyage, flashback. You can discard Zale and like sacrifice Magnetling to flashback Unhallowed Voyage, search up the Ziv while putting both of the necessary cards in your graveyard. So how do you kill with that infinite colorless? Like Dante's Inferno, but you need to have Ziv be an artifact creature.
A good question. Well, if you have Coalesced Core, that's infinite black mana instead if you want it.
Yeah, that's infinite black mana, but you have to be able to spend that mana. You have to have enough life to be able to spend that
mana. You can
mana.
then use to cast. You can use All That Remains, Cryptology, Unhallowed Voyage, or cycling on Ruiner's Hijacking once you have infinite mana to eventually mill over a Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, but again, it still doesn't solve the problem of you need the mana to be from artifact sources, and unless you've animated Ziv, it's not from an artifact source yet.
But you can use Magnetling's third ability to turn. No way, that loses that.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Where I was like, can it become an artifact, but it can only stop being things. So it can stop being a planeswalker. So you can essentially have a Ziv that you can pay 1 and make it unable to be attacked.
I mean, while you use your infinite black mana to tear through your deck, you can cast Arduous Miners, which can get you infinite tapped treasure tokens.
Can it get you infinite tapped treasures?
Not infinite, but you got a lot of them as you exile your All That Remains and cast your cryptologies.
I'm really just struggling to see how you kill without Ziv being animated. Like the fact that you could have Ziv uptick, integrate both cards from your graveyard, and then just pay 1 to make it unable to be attacked is nice. But that is 6 mana to do that.
Ooh.
And then from there,
Ziv still taps for mana because Ziv never has summon. Ziv doesn't have summoning sickness, so Ziv can tap.
Oh yeah, so you can do that turn 5 because yeah, Zale you can pay for Magnetling, and then yeah, so that is pretty good.
Hello.
I do not pity this deck running into the 5 red aggro decks.
3 copies of its main combo piece.
Yeah, 3 copies of each of its main combo pieces, but you do have some improved consistency thanks to Cryptology and Unhallowed Voyage. Yeah. And just Ruiner's Hijacking, Walk Among the Dead, able to start milling you.
Andrew's saying that there is no pity for this deck running into the red aggro. Although we saw a big run of red aggro at the start. We haven't seen much of it since then, so there's not
that is true.
A ton of it, but there's a lot.
That is very true.
Yes, this deck has it has 2 Outfield.
Oh!
And it could block with an Arduous Miners.
Wait. Hold on. I'm trying to think what all of the clicks can do. I don't think there's any click that kills immediately, right? Yeah, there's no click that if triggered infinitely kills. But Looming Skyscrapers as a 2 of in the mana base makes more sense with infinite mana. So
that's true.
So you can convert that into one of infinite 2/2s with Decayed, one of that's how you do it. Looming Skyscrapers, you go Fishanki, you convert the infinite colorless from Ziv into infinite treasures, and then Dante's Inferno kill that turn. Okay.
Nice.
That's how you do
it. That is so spicy.
Together
we figured it out.
I can already. Liz says, yeah, with Fishanki, and I'm just sitting here thinking, how long has Liz just been sitting watching all of this and going, they'll get there. Give them time.
Yeah. Lil looks at this list for 5 seconds, like, oh yeah, that's the combo kill is Ziv plus into Skyscrapers.
All right, this is amazingly cool. This is so sweet.
Unfortunately, I think Ephemia is going to be very, very good against this deck.
I just realized the one of Steadfast Gatekeepers also does the combo with Magnetling Ziv. If you animate Ziv and he's an artifact creature, Steadfast Gatekeepers lets him tap for 2 colorless.
Yep.
That's, oh my god, this is so sweet. This is such a sweet deck.
It's a different mana values, so you can search for cryptology, etc.
Yeah. As far as the sideboard goes, also known as how Tomas beats mono red, or most of the matchups in the field that are going to try and murder him before he can get online. 2 Exorcist of Errors, 4 Duress, 2 Cull Populace, 1 Data Wipe, 2 Chronicle of Extinction, and 4 Sensor Tablet. 4 Sensor Tablet. Wow. Yeah.
It's an ability you can give Ziv.
Yeah, that sure is. Has it always been permanent cards?
More of this lately.
I feel like I remember Ziv only copying creature and planeswalker abilities, but yeah, wow. My goodness. It's crazy.
Cull Populace is a good shout out.
Like, it is really good.
One-side sweeper.
It's really good, especially against the mono red stuff, because like it doesn't deal with everything out of mono red, doesn't deal with the tokens from Ephemia and from Savvy Smith. But if your opponent can buff up their creatures out of the range of most of the other small sweepers, because we have functional monstrous rage, except instead of giving permanent trample, it gives a permanent +1/+1 counter, meaning you can stack those on top of a thing and keep all of the counters, whereas monstrous rage only lets them have 1 roll at a time. So like Cull Populace gets around all of that. No nonsense. Just get it out of here and integrate it onto Ziv.
Well, power 2 or less.
Power 2
or less.
Oh so god. Oh god. I keep thinking this is mana value. Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, no. Actually, the monstrous rage is amazing against this.
That's nice.
You can get what?
You can get anomaly sometimes. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes picks off anomaly. Anomaly does kind of clown on Cull Populace though. Oh god.
Okay, yeah, if you let it have a turn, yeah.
Yeah, every time I think Cull Populace as mana value, I'm so excited by it, and then I remember its power.
Yes.
Ziv got changed to permanent cards at some point. I don't remember the old version, but it was a change a few months ago. Okay, so I was remembering correct that it wasn't always any permanent cards. This card...
No, it was... Yeah, it was creature and... It was all abilities, but only creature and planeswalker cards.
Right, because it was copying like keyword abilities, so it would have like vigilance and lifelink and death touch and indestructible and just go crazy. Right, I remember. It got
its own. It had its own comprehensive rules entry until they made that change.
And now it does this. All right, way to go, Tomas. This is scary. Up next, we've got Itayu Cool on Did Someone Say Tracks? Blue Black Mill. Finax. I feel like it's been ages since Finax was seeing a lot of play. Because if I understand correctly, it was seeing a lot of play at one point. But it's just he's stepped away from the spotlight. And now he's back.
And he's got a promo, so he had to win something.
Yeah. I think it was a Brawl GP that he got the promo from. If my understanding is correct, someone in chat could correct me. I could pull up the GP archive and check myself, but I'm not gonna.
Yep. No, you're right. It was a Brawl GP.
Hell yeah. So 3 Alphanized Reveler and 4 Fenax Brazen Thief, backed up by 4 Dragon to the Dark, 3 Divine Mishap, 4 Fenax's Judgment, 2 Lost to Memory, 2 Final Fate, 2 Chronicle of Extinction, playset of Laystone of Ruin, 3 Shrine to Fenax, 2 Shrine to Keranos, and 4 The Path of Fenax. There's 3 Murky Paths and 1 Lost and Found in the mana base, 2 Ephemeral Mire, 4 Enigmatic Fen, 3 Swamps, 2 Islands, 4 Temple of Origins, 4 Primal Fissures. Yeah. I do like Alphanized Reveler a lot. This is probably going to quietly be one of the cards I miss most out of Theros come rotation. It's just so innocuous and so solid.
So many of the Saros Age of Tracks uncommons are just randomly like really quite constructed pedigree cards.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Divine Mishap I'm also gonna miss. Like just solid common. I miss the brief window of time where people were playing this with legendary lands.
I mean, I've still seen that happen. I will not miss Divine Mishap.
The 1 month,
especially with legendary lands and the Laystones.
Yeah,
like the really hard to interact with cheap ones.
Yeah, the 1 month where we had Istroth counting. It wasn't even that Istroth got nerfed. It was that oh god, Ballot Registrar.
Ballot Registrar.
Yeah, because it used to discount the Istroth activated ability.
Good times.
Yeah. Sideboard of 3 Lurking Virkalakis, 4 Duress, 1 Final Fate to go with the 2 in the main, 3 Forced Shutdown, and a playset of Soul Guide Lanterns. Yeah. Seems reasonable. You want to get the next 2? You can get the next one. I'm getting the one after that.
Okay, sorry. All Who Wander is on Royal Collection. This is another plush collection deck. This one has 3 Melons main deck, 4 Stockbroker, 4 Coordinator, 3 Menelaya, 4 Concurrent Escapist, 4 Ironback Tyke, 3 Terminal Impact, 4 Encounter, and 4 Revolt at the Palace. Mana base is 3 of each Shockland, 4 Primal Fissure, and 1 of Titan Stairs. Sideboard's got 4 Mask Smiths and 4 Abominable Avalanche. Along with 3 Sealing Strike and 4 Soul Guide Lantern.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is kind of the similar kind of interactions we've seen before. Stockbroker and Escapist generate tons of mana with plush collection. Melon, Menelaya, and Ironback Tyke can be similarly quite scary. And Revolt of the Palace gets every creature in the deck and plush collection.
Yeah, it gets every single non-land permanent in the deck besides itself.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I like Terminal Impact here as our if we generate tons of mana outlet, which this deck frequently accidentally does.
Yeah. It's a great outlet for all of the mass amounts of Stockbrokers and Escapists.
I guess that's barely enough white sources for Melon. You're like 1 short.
Yeah. I mean, Stockbroker makes white mana.
Yeah, but we have 13 turn 1 white sources for Melon.
Yeah. It doesn't need to come down turn 1. There's you can always just play a tap shock. You can play the Titan Stairs turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Deck's sweet.
Menelaya also a little silly with flush collection.
Oh yeah.
Your Menelaya token dies immediately, but you profit 1 counter.
The one thing I do not miss is Menelaya being able to protect herself. The window there where she could. Oh goodness.
Yep.
The reason I'm taking the next deck from you is because it's mine. You took yours from me. I'm taking mine from you. I'm on a deck that I played a bit in League back in May. Deliberately did not lock it for the GP, in part because I felt like I needed time to iterate upon it, and also because I was afraid of unleashing this into the world. And then I saw people start playing it in League in late May, and I said, all right, well, I guess I'll play this next time I play a GP. And then I just had other things going on last month, so I'm playing it now. White Black Revolt at the Palace. I almost just called this deck. My win condition is you suffering. So I'm on a lot more creatures than my early builds of this deck had. I'm on 3 Corpse Pyre Fiend, 4 Exorcist of Errors, 2 Inklight Dancers, 4 Data Weavers, 2 Looming Psyhawks, and 1 of Athreos Goldeyed. 2 Chronicle of Extinction in the main. I've got 2 more in the sideboard. Enchantments are 3 Phenax's Touch, 3 Pull of Tizerus, 2 Omnis Slaughter, 3 Path of Phenax, 2 Sealing Strike, and 3 Revolt at the Palace. And I've got 4 Ley Shards here, as well as 22 lands. I've got a playset of Primal Fissure, playset of Stark Expanse, 1 of Desolate Path, pairs of Gates to the Underworld, Coalesced Mesa, Coalesced Core, and Time-Worn Crags, and then 3 Swamps and 2 Plains. The basic idea here, we play the familiar suspects in white-black that are just gonna, and mostly mono-black, that just make you not get to do things. We shred your hand with Path of Phenax, Phenax's Touch, shred your board with Ominous Slaughter, Pull of Tizerus, Sealing Strike, and I pivoted to having more creatures in this deck because I feel that it is just in my best interest to have things in play to withstand what is going on, which I think was a pretty heads-up call considering all the mono red that we covered earlier, and I see another one after this.
Yep, there's one more coming. And main deck Looming Psyhawk, too.
Yeah, Looming Psyhawk. I started off with a playset of Looming Psyhawk. I started off with a lot of playsets and then slowly whittled things down, shifted stuff to the sideboard, shifted stuff out to get to where I wanted. Inklight Dancer is the big one that I kind of wish I was on a third of. The more I look at this card, the more I just kind of land on, like, I don't need that activated ability to ever matter. This is just a permanent, this is an instant speed removal spell I can run that is still findable off of Revolt the Palace if I need it to be. This provides reach if I need it to be reach. This provides life gain if I need it to be a little bit of life gain. Just blocking something that doesn't have trample and then sacrificing it to gain some life is nice. Brick walling 1/1 tokens and 1/1s in general is really nice, especially with Euphemia running around. I am loving Inklight Dancer more and more and more the more I look at it. Athreos Goldeyed, I am on 1 in the main, 2 in the sideboard. I am admittedly not sure this is the best pick, because like there's not a whole lot of death triggers or anything running around. This is mostly just me thinking about like incidental life gain, incidental damage over time, putting myself further out of reach of my opponents, and putting my opponent more within my reach over time. And it's not that difficult for it to be animated. I need 5 devotion outside of it to get it animated, and with my enchantment suite, with my creatures, it's not going to be too hard to get him online and just swinging and getting things back, or just blocking and stonewalling aggro decks. And the main reason I was so dead set on trying to make this happen at all was Corpse Pyre Fiend now playing so nicely with Data Weaver. It's just an absolute menace. And so the early builds of this deck, and I have the GitHub still up, so I get to pull up the card in question, because I don't remember its name off the top of my head. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Here we are, Ruiner's Procession. I was, let me just pull up the page itself, actually. If I can spell correctly.
Ruiner's Procession.
Early builds of this deck, I was on Ruiner's Procession. And I was on this with Glassblower's Forge. Because in a pinch, the basic idea here was I can cycle it for 1 and it's just a cantrip when I need it to be. Or, early game, I can have this just rebuy a fetch. Or like my opponent removes a thing and then I just get to rebuy it, put it directly back into play. late game, I can do stuff like sacrifice Revolt at the Palace to Glassblower's Forge, draw a card, Ruiner's Procession, back the Revolt at the Palace, pick the Glassblower's Forge back up, or like do that with an enter trigger.
Instant speed Path of Phoenix.
Works with Path of Phoenix really nicely. Works with any saga really nicely. That sacrifices itself where I get their last trigger and then I Ruiner's Procession it back into play. But I ultimately decided that I was more concerned in this particular GP with just having creatures, a higher density of creatures in that I can have sit in play, and Glassblower's Forge wound up just kind of taking the bullet to make that happen. And with Glassblower's Forge out, I decided that was kind of it wasn't the thing that was most necessary for Ruiner's Procession to work, but it was a knock against Ruiner's Procession sticking around. So it slowly started taking more towards having the Psyhawks, having the Inklight Dancers, having the Corpse Pyre Fiends. Because I want to say the first builds of this deck, I was just on 4 Exorcist, 4 Data Weaver, and that was it for creatures. So I decided to double my creature count in the main, and the grindier side of the plan kind of fell away. And I think I'm happy with that, seeing what the field is so far. So
makes sense.
my sideboard is 2 more Psyhawk, 2 more Athreos, 2 more Chronicle of Extinction. I did mention to Zangy that Zangy said I should play Zakros Decree earlier today, and I mentioned that I was considering it for a little while, and I did end up caving and playing it, and with all of the aggro red Ephemia stuff, I'm kind of happy I have it. 3 Fall of Tracks, 2 Archival Storage, and 2 Soul Guide Lantern. I didn't want too much graveyard hate since I've got the Chronicle of Extinctions and the Corpse Pyre Fiends, but I felt like 2 Lanterns, 2 Archival Storage, they're both hits off of Revolt of the Palace in a pinch, and seeing what the field is like, I'm kind of glad I have both.
Yeah. You are 4 Chronicle Extinction, 22 lands, and every single other card is a hit off Revolt of the Palace.
Yep. I like Revolt of the Palace a lot. It's probably not my favorite card from Kitsuo, because Aonuma Students exists, but it is one of my favorites from this set, and the fact that it just gets to slam a Sealing Strike or a Path of Phoenix is nuts to me, and I'm gonna leverage that as long as I can, which for Path of Phoenix is gonna be for 1 more month.
Yep, Revolt of the Palace is I guess stopping you from running like the black-white mid-range 4-drops like Sonido or Lifehacker or Inner Rings.
Yeah, and I will be entirely honest. Inner Rings Pupil Sonido, I have had less confidence in as time has gone on. They're definitely good, but I feel like they're both just not quite enough for me. And I haven't played Lifehacker to comment on whether or not it's really doing what I need it to, but I feel like Revolt is just it is an engine that proactively does the things that I need it to, which is to do all of the other good things that my deck is already doing.
What's with these Coalesced Cores? What are these doing here?
Coalesced Core, Coalesced Mesa. So the rationale here is twofold. First off, these are untapped lands that can still cast Corpse Pyre Fiend. I've got plenty of colorless pips, or generic pips in, Looming Psyhawk is fine to cast for generic. Data Weaver is fine to get with generic. And they're how I make colored mana when I need to off of early Time Worn Crags. So I can run out of Time Worn Crags, Coalesced Mesa, Coalesced Core early and get more untapped lands while not having to sacrifice my mana fixing when I need it to. I have some of that life padding from Looming Psyhawk, Inklight Dancer, and Athreos to make up for the pain I might feel from the Coalesced lands. And then the Coalesced lands are just always going to be able to activate Corpse Pyre Fiend when I needed them to.
And, Coalesced Mesa makes a ton of sense to me because that is an untapped land that can cast Corpse Pyre Fiend and your white spells. Coalesced Core is the one that confuses me.
I almost went down to 1 Coalesced Core, but I think having them be... I think Coalesced Core I want so that way my Mesas and my Crags can make black mana, because I have a lot of black spells in this deck. All of my earlier stuff is largely mono black. Yeah, the white mana comes into the top
downside
end.
Of Phoenix's Touch. Phoenix's Touch really taxes your black sources.
Yeah. And even then, I do still have I'm glad I have the coalesced package with Time Worn Crags because I wanted to be able to have some way of just checking lands. And I'm glad I have that because the leveling lands scare me. And then it let me get away with only 2 lands that are going to be tapped early, which is Gates to the Underworld.
Yep.
Which
This
I
deck looks
love.
properly scary, and like this feels like it is kind of an encapsulation, even though it's not a bajillion TRX cards. It feels like it's doing a lot of the TRX Phoenix package, which is Phoenix's Touch, Path of Phoenix, Omen of Slaughter, Pull of Titherus, and then ways to kind of make use of the fact that these are enchantments, that these are permanents.
Yeah. Do I wish we had something along the lines of redeploy where it was a 2-mana flicker in white that did more than just flicker a thing? Absolutely. And if we had it, I'd be on it. But I did not want the one from GQ Chaos Reigns because it only flickers. And it's
I will not be permitting you to flicker Path of Phoenix on your opponent's draw step.
don't worry, I won't be able to in August. Though I did also have some flicker. I did have some of those flickers in early builds of this deck as well, for that purpose specifically.
I more meant like Soul Space Refit used to be able to do that, and I specifically
Oh,
changed
yeah.
it so it couldn't blink Path of Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thank you for it.
Okay, I guess I take the next one because you kind
Yeah.
of going to be mine.
I think you did 3 in a row earlier, so I think we could just alternate. The rules are out the window. We make it up as we go.
Anyways, PTM's on Liz Heroic. This is exactly the same deck that Liz on. It's blue red Heroic, blue for Edgeland Pledge and Research Grant. It is not only the same sideboard, it even has the split versions of Cast Thrasher and Savvy Smith.
That's great. I do remember seeing PTM mention that they didn't have time to pull a deck together, so this tracks. Yep. And yeah, if you need someone to turn to for a really powerful deck, I feel like Li is gonna have some.
Let Leia take the training weights off and stop playing only combo and start building like aggro decks. This is scary. I don't like this.
Yeah, I see some notes in chat. Did I ever consider the KDT colorless lands? I forget what lands those are.
There's the enter the battlefield gain 2 life one. That pays for cycling costs.
What's the mana symbol in
what's the other one? Oh, there's the one that filters mana and draws cards using gold cards in play.
There we go. It's E, not S.
Yep.
Oh, nope.
For some reason, yeah.
I'm good at search terms. Yeah. Royal Balcony, Opulent Vantage. I want to say I was on one of Opulent Vantage in my early builds of the deck. It's just I want to. Yeah, I was on 1 or 2 copies of this in early builds of the deck specifically because of Ruiner's Procession. I went out when I'm not on Ruiner's Procession, I'm much less interested in it. I have like no cycling anything now, so
it's just gain 2 life.
It's just gain 2 life. And while I'm glad I have the Coalesced Mesa, Coalesced Core, Time Worn Crags package, I didn't want a ton of colorless sources. So
yeah, it'd be in place of Time Worn Crags. Although this could have easily been a 4 of Laystone of Being deck.
It totally could have, and I think I have had builds of it where I've like tempted myself with Laystone of Being. Maybe when we lose a bunch of things from Theros Age of Trax and I have to like reconfigure this deck to try and get around that. I wonder if Protean Bows could have put in work here since you're racing to nuke hands. Maybe. Makes colored mana the turn it enters. I'm not crazy about it, but it could have worked. It makes the tokens tapped.
Okay.
That bums me. But yeah, PTM's deck is good because Liz's deck is good. Do you want to get the next one, or do you want me to get it?
I guess PTM's was a fast one. So this is Cat and Trees. Enchantments can come and go, but tokens are eternal. So this looks like the Harmony of Naya EO Harmony of Nature deck that we used to have around, except it doesn't have Harmony of Nature anymore. It just has EO. So 4 Kitsune Matriarch and 4 EO as the actual factual creatures. Then 4 Penwrath Agenda as instants. And then we have 4 Edgeland Pledge, 4 Ruins Awaken, 4 Ragtag Squad, and 4 Assimilate. Interesting. And still 8 enchantments, 4 Sparks of Revolution, and 4 Flags on High. So that's 9 4-ofs as all of our non-land cards. And basically Assimilate works well with all of the all 3 of the Raise the Alarms. Ruins Awake.
Doesn't work with all 3 of them anymore. Ragtag Squad, the nerf to Ragtag Squad for golems inadvertently nerfs this deck because Ragtag Squad can't choose 2 of the same type anymore.
Wait, that doesn't. Oh my! I just realized it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. Tragically.
Whoops, that's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Assimilate's still fine enough here because like, Ruins Awaken, because I think the Ragtag tokens still share a name.
They're called like.
They're red Ragtag and green Ragtag, I think.
Well, that's what they're called, like, but like in the rules of the game, I believe it's called Time Lord token.
Time Lord token.
If you choose Time Lord for it, which is always the first creature type you pick.
Okay. Huh. All right. I'm confused, but
the
cool.
Name of the token is its types plus the word token.
Okay, so I don't think the Ragtag Squad tokens would enable either half of Assimilate then, right?
If you get a Golem if you choose Golem and then you still have 1 Ruins Awaken token left over, I believe those have the same name.
Yeah. Okay.
Mana base, 4 Primal Fissure, 4 each of the Shocklands, and then basics.
Yep.
So very streamlined mana base here. No unnecessary tap lands. Which makes sense for a deck that's trying to cast EU on turn 3 very consistently. Sideboard's got 4 Return to Nature, 4 Firebolt, 4 Abominable Avalanche, and 3 Soul Guide Lantern.
Keep it simple. Cat and Tree's been on something like this for as long as I've seen them playing, and it does seem like it's doing work for them every time. So.
Yep. Harmony of Nature angle was fun, but fortunately can't do that anymore.
Yep, it's 2 mana now.
A cool kind of substitute.
Yeah, well, that's super sweet. And as long as we have Sparks of a Revolution, like token strategies are going to have some nonsense that they're able to do. So,
definitely.
I have a deck name to read. What was that?
Also, looks decently well positioned against. I guess we keep bringing up Mono Red, although it's like a decreasing percentage as we keep reading decks. But like Mono Red, you can't block Savvy Smith, and you can't really block Cash Thrasher. But the other ones you can block. You can deal by blocking.
Oh, I have a note from. Oh, I see. Cat and Tree has been messaging in general and pinging me. Can't you just pledge a bunch with the infinite mana? This is about the combo deck. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Ragtag is just to get a bunch of colors for Penwrath. Oh, yeah, because Penwrath Agenda wants you to have colors among your permanents. Okay. The debuff was sad, but Golems deserved it.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree, too.
Turn 2 Blue Golem, turn 3 attack with Blue Golem.
I forget, what did you play in April? Because that was your first GP win that got you the qualification for Worlds.
April was the Plane Chase GP, and I was on Red Blue Savvy Smith.
Right. I was on Golems that month. And then I was on Savvy Smith the prior month.
Look, I don't want to blaze new trails. I just want to find like good decks and then continue to refine them.
Yeah. I want to do that too, but sometimes I find good decks and then they get nerfed before I can refine them. I gesture at red-green counters.
Excellent. I think you're stalling reading Viola's deck name.
I am stalling. I am stalling reading this deck name. Viola's on Viola's. Now, if she Phoenixes touches like this, will you touch her right back? Now, if she coos like this, will you coo it like that? Grixis Laystone control.
I think there's meant to be like a melody to that.
There is. I think I know vaguely what the melody is supposed to be. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, we respect this.
Yeah. So we have it is a creatureless control deck. Grixis creatureless control. We have 2 liquidate, 2 bleeding out, 2 deft deflection, and 4 divine mishap. 2 final fate and 4 coup d'etat. And then the big bunch, 20 enchantments with 4 Laystone of Storms, 4 Laystone of Depths, 3 Phynax's Touches, 3 Shigani Manor Burns, 2 Omen of Deception, 2 The Path of Phoenix, of Phoenix, and 2 Panic, which is what I'm doing right now with that mispronunciation. Moving on, 24 lands. We've got 2 Hazak District, 2 Ephemeral Mire, 4 Primal Fissure, 1 of each Path, 1 of each Shock, 4 Islands, 4 Swamps, and 2 Mountains. This is the inner greedy gremlin in my brain. Always wanting to see like a bunch of cheap enchantments and no creatures, and going, so where's the get your wish? Get your wish free casts coup d'etat.
That actually pretty good here.
But honestly, even without get your wish, like this just is fine. Cheap interaction, and the win condition of like Laystone of Storms, Shigani Manor Burns, just gradually kill your opponent. Path of Phynax just gradually kills your opponent.
But looking for the card advantage in this deck, it's Divine Mishap. Divine Mishap is how we're going to outcard people, because it is almost always going to be on.
I mean, you also outcard people by using Phynax's Touch and Path of Phynax to destroy their hand.
Yeah, the Phoenix's body parts are also 2-for-1s.
Yes, Phynax's body parts. And then Panic is also a very good card. If you're gonna play a 4-drop in this deck of largely 2s and 3s and some 1s, Panic is the 4-drop. Viola says, I did not test this at all or anything this month. Yeah. Honestly, this will probably still do work. Pander says, I totally should have been on coup d'etat in Monument deck list alongside Saboteurs. Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I this card is very good. It kills Regice without you having to target it and flip its stats now. It was 2 mana more to kill a Regice with this, and now you don't have to spend that mana. The reason I have not played Aonuma Students in like a proper league run or in a tournament or anything is because every time I put Aonuma Students in a deck, there is a little creature in the back of my brain that says, play the funny 3-color X cost sweepers. Play coup d'etat, play
Ayashi breaks the
breaks the loop. And I always want to play those with Aonuma Students, but it's probably not worth it to make my mana base awful.
Yeah, probably agreed.
But yeah, I love coup d'etat. I love free casting coup d'etat. Get your wish. Free casting coup d'etat is beautiful, and we'll be able to do that for a fair few more months if you can make the mana happen. And by make the mana happen, I mean make the permanents in play to make that happen, which is going to be a little harder when Age of Trax takes a lot of our enchantments that are multicolor.
Yep, that's fair.
Sideboard is 4 Singularity, 3 Negate, 2 Out with the Old, 1 Terminal Impact, 2 Sifting Through Soot, which I haven't seen in a while since it got all of those nerfs. The last of those nerfs.
Still the best mono black life gain card you got access to. In case, yeah, I guess no one has Brutality Burn. That's the deck you really want Sifting against.
I feel like you're dissing Life Hacker.
Oh right, Life Hacker. Well, this deck can't play Life Hacker.
Your card.
Ridiculous.
Siscall and 2 Faces the Faceless. Faces as the go-to anti-graveyard card. Yeah.
No Graveyard Surges in this deck. You can play it.
Yeah. Sweet. Coup d'etat confirmed a physical move. Oh, because it kills Regice. Yep. I see. We got one more. Do you want to take it or you want me to?
Well, this is my deck. I added like this is the deck I just deck listed with. This is the earlier version of the deck.
Yeah, then I'll let you take it.
Currently running. So yeah, similar idea. Borrow and Soul Space Refit. with a backup of a kind of flash and blink package with Agent of Deception and Prevention Demon as flash things that are good to blink. Jetstream Cruiser are the flash thing that blinks them. Architect can get back Soul Speed Refit or Borrow or other instance, and it's also good to blink. Removal, Downlink Overload, Hang. One of Rabora's Appetite, that you got a lot of flash threats, and it's good to have kind of the bailout against must answer things, and 2 main deck Duress to play on turn 1. Sideboard's got 2 Exorcist, 2 Downlink Overload, 2 Denotation Failure, other 2 Duresses, 2 Invasion Then, 2 Sizcall, 3 Faces of the Faceless. So I got deck list with this. It's pretty good. I actually ended up, the main change I made from this to my current build is I cut Data Weaver. It turns out like this deck has so much value if it can go late game. Jetstream Cruiser, Borrow, Architect are just all keep you going for a long time, that you really just can't afford to take the tempo hit of sorcery speed 3 mana 2/3. Is what I
Yeah.
found.
But it's also like Data Weaver, you want to integrate stuff onto you want to integrate the cards onto something that you're going to have stick around, and a lot of this deck is built towards, picking up your game pieces and replaying those game pieces.
You do also kind of want to blink Data Weaver sometimes. Usually, like in your non-integrated, you put it on the Data Weaver. But here, you sometimes want to put it on something else so that, like, Jetstream Cruiser can turn 1 card in your hand into 2 card from their deck.
Yeah. You weren't on Denotation Failure, were you, in your sideboard for this tournament?
No, I'm just on Downlink Overload. I have found that there's really no. I can't think of many 2 toughness creatures that have enters effects that I therefore would need to counter rather than kill on board.
Fair enough.
And a Scribble's Discovering is in fact not Detonation Failure; it is Denotation Failure.
Yeah, I got to make that discovery when I did the set review, and it was fun getting it right on the first try. But yeah, Denotation Failure. I've been recording my drafts of Curator's Cube because I may or may not wind up uploading that whole run as well. And I admittedly have been smack talking Denotation Failure in my discussions. But it does look really good right now, I think.
In Cube, it's only a sideboard card. I think there aren't a ton of Cube decks that's actually a good sideboard card against.
Yeah. I think it looks really nice with all of the Ephemia running around. And I will say, you mentioned that like we had a bunch of red and then we started moving into a bunch of not red. The most prevalent deck in May, I think there was 3 copies of a deck. So I think there being like, how many Ephemia?
4 Ephemias.
4 Ephemia decks.
4 Ephemia decks.
That's pretty prevalent.
1 in 6 decks is an Ephemia deck.
Yeah.
So on average, you will face, I'll get 4 on turn. On average, you'll face like 0.6 Ephemia decks. Oh yes, I remember why you should run Denotation Failure. You should run Denotation Failure if you suspect someone is going to play Survivors of the New World.
Yeah, Pander's just mentioned it. Yeah, no survivors in 24 decks.
No survive. I mean, every GP you could name so many just busted cards that no one is running. There's no survivors in this GP. There's no Builder of Monuments. There's no Welkin Eviction in this GP.
Yeah, no mono white. There's still Fallout Tracks or Fall of Volantian.
There's no Waver Drek in this GP. I was like, some of the people have like devoted a lot of sideboard spots to a Waver Drek, and it's not here.
No more Football Dad.
No more Football Dad.
Well, we might see more Football Dad after Theros packs up its bags, but we've got it for 2 more months.
If we get the Trovsko in 2 months, we will definitely see Waver Drek again.
Maybe. We are coming up on the end of the decklist submission window as well.
Yes,
or not the decklist, the set submission.
Days.
Yeah.
Yep. I hope everyone has put their jellyfish in for the year of the jellyfish.
I hope everyone who is submitting has good luck with their set. I'm very glad that the curators are going to get more time to prepare themselves because, dear Lord, April was interesting and I wasn't even on the back end of any of it.
It was a fun and exciting time. I may have like only cried once.
Honestly, that tracks. Yeah, we have pairings for round one. I'm up
Yeah.
against White Blue Swablu. All Who Wander up against Tomas, so that's Naya plush collection versus Ziv combo.
Ooh.
We got PTM versus Epid. So PTM on the red blue Ephemia versus
Ephemia
Epid
mirror.
on mono red, so it's an Ephemia mirror. Good. Let them fight.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm facing off against Scribble on Bant Control. I actually don't really know how that's going to go.
yeah, it'll be
I guess
interesting.
I play at instant speed and have counter spells, so I theoretically should have a decent anti-control thing. Um, but I'm also like I'm pretty teched against aggro with a lot of my choices, so
Yeah.
could go either way.
We got Catalyst on Team Regeka up against Cat and Tree on Naya tokens, Naya AO.
What
H
was I called?
Squid versus Crush Castles. I can say words
Wait, hold
properly.
on. We're gonna get there.
Yeah. Another Naya plush collection versus Blue Red Flashback. Kumrak versus Ricky on Black Green versus Monument. I don't even need to pull the deck lists up. I know what they're doing.
Yep.
Wiffle versus Leet Wizard on Golems. Platypeople's Sultai Golems versus your blue black deck.
Blue Black Pink.
Blue black blink. Live versus Platypeople, which is the other blue red Ephemia versus mono black control. Only one mono black
Does
deck.
Damn to Hell resolve,
Yeah,
or do we die before we cast
yeah.
it?
Only one Damn to Hell deck did catch me off guard. I
Okay.
always am expecting more of Damn to Hell, and I think there was only like one person playing it last month too, right? Because I did briefly gloss over what was played last month.
I think so. Once again,
Um,
there's so many things going on in this
so many
format.
things going on.
Yeah, one
Zangi
Damn to Hell last month.
versus Viola on Green Blue Titans versus the Grixis Laystone control.
Yep.
Requiem versus Silver on Mono Red versus Red Green Weftheart. And then Itai on Blue Black Mill up against Panders on Grixis Monument.
Mill versus Reanimator.
Mill versus Reanimator. It's happening.
That you know what? That's what Red Panthers are really needed. To
Yeah.
face them off against a Mill deck.
But what happens if all three Weft dancers get milled?
Then we just hard cast Monument, I think.
Yeah, but if you hard cast Monument and you hit like four things, that's four less cards your opponent needs to mill. I actually don't think you could hit four
Yeah.
things. If you hit three things, that's three less cards your opponent needs to mill.
Okay.
Underflow error can tap Phoenix and stop Phoenix from doing its combat damage trigger. It's gonna be a funny match to
That's gonna be the
watch.
silliest matchup around.
I'm gonna have to tune into that match. That match sounds fun.
Yeah, I think overall, I feel like most of the matchups here are going to be pretty competitive. Like it's aggro decks and mid range decks that have brought tools because they expect aggro decks.
Yeah,
The only matchups I think are like probably not going to be close are aggro decks up against the combo decks that did not bring a lot of anti aggro. So
yeah. So I don't know if plush is necessarily like that feels like it skews more combo than aggro to me.
yeah, Plush is like a
Um,
mid range deck.
yeah. So I feel like Tomas might have a shot. Granted, uh, oh wait, no. All Who Wander's not on Mask Smith in the main. It was H Squid that was on Mask Smith in the main because H Squid is on Ozon's Blessing and All Who Wander is not.
Yep.
Yeah, so
I
no
love when people
reliability
have
with
main
finding
deck
Mask Smith.
graveyard hate. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, no reliability on finding the Mask Smith means that Tomas does have that reliability there.
Yeah, that looks like that's just a race. That's
Yeah.
whoever gets to do their thing
Um.
first, and it could be Tomas. I
Yeah.
could believe Tomas is on average faster.
Yeah. There's a lot of matches in this round that I'm really curious to see how they pan out. I might have to slip some money to Time Spiral and just be like, hey, could you take a lot of your free time and watch all of these matches for me and record them?
Nice. If you don't mind me asking, how do you feel about your matchup against Magma Dragon?
I have no earthly clue. Um, I
That is fair.
I think there are some things I'm going to struggle with. Renowned Rough Rider is really good at getting ahead of my like 1-for-1 removal.
Hmm.
Though I do get the advantage of actually being on enough creatures that I can reasonably block the human tokens. Um, I don't have much in the way of like, oh god, Walk the Dead's Path is a 4 of. Oh my god. That's gonna suck.
That's pretty good.
4 Walk the Dead's Path, 4 Death Deflection. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. 4 Plasma
I
Strike
guess,
in the main.
yeah, that's not very good against you, I guess.
I mean, the Plasma Strikes
Yeah.
are probably going to be fine actually, because
Oh, right.
they kill 15 of my 16 creatures. The
I was just
one,
assuming that you had no intention of turning those creatures sideways in this matchup.
I mean, probably not. But even if I block with them, they
Oh,
can
right.
save their
It just blocks
creatures.
you.
I don't have much to fight in the air for the fledglings, though fortunately they're going to be small enough that Pulverizers will almost always kill them. Um, and
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like if there was any matchup where I wish I would have the instant speed Path of Phalanx to like flicker Path of Phalanx and get them on the discard, I wouldn't even want to do it draw step. I would want to do it after they get their. No, I can't even hand attack the weathers because acclimate gets them from
One of those.
graveyard. I have to
Yep.
exile their weathers. Oh boy. Well, I mean, I have 2 Sealing Strikes, so maybe I can make something happen.
Yeah. It looks to me
A
like
Fall of
they
Tracks.
they have a lot of
That's how I do it.
ways. They kind of like they have a lot of engines that if they get running, it's just going to be more card advantage than you can 1-for-1 your way out of. But
Yeah,
if you can keep Pilgrim down, if you can keep Rough Rider down, then they don't really have an engine and they just have things you can 1-for-1.
yeah. I have enough practice with Primordial Seas, which is to say, my uh final day pre-rotation was spent playing Bant Golem's Primordial Seas weather combo in the plane chase format. I have enough experience with Primordial Seas to know generally when I have to be worried about it. Um,
My final days in the plane chase format were spent hunting for shinies.
yes, Panders does note Psyhawk is really good against Primordial Seas.
Oh, it sure is.
What if
When it
you
gets to that
wanted to
point.
make infinite tokens and God said 2/1 bird?
Mm-hmm.
I love this card
There's a
so much.
surprising number of playable birds in this format.
There
Most of
really
this bird
is.
playable.
What is this? Final Fantasy?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that is
Jetstream Cruiser is a bird? Of course.
Is it? It sure is.
Yep, it's a bird.
Oh my god, eat your heart out, Choco. We've got the real playable birds in constructed. Who needs landfall? Yeah, bird assimilate. This is all of the birds that Bloomborough needed in white blue to actually be playable.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that is all of the decks in GP Zakros. It's the final standard GP of the season. It's crazy to think we're
Final
already
Fantasy
there.
for Seros Age of Tracks.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be weird when it's gone.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna adjust to it being gone. I feel like
What?
I'm going to live in fear of Omen of Deception until the end of time. I'm gonna play around
Yeah.
decks. I'm gonna play around Omen of Deception from decks that aren't even on blue.
Yeah. I think like the thing I'll remember most about Seraph Tracks is like the Enchantments with Impactful ETBs package, which is the 2 omens, Phoenix's body parts, um, there's a couple others that like people have done so many different things with those decks. You play them with a Fara, you play them with Host of the Neverending Revel, you blink them, you bounce them. So many different decks have come out of like enchantments with ETBs and ways to abuse the fact that they are enchantments with ETBs.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome that we have 24 players in this tournament because looking back, July of last year had 20. July of 2023 had 17. July of 2022 had 16. And then the last time July had this many players was 2021 with 27 players, and that was because it was the second ever GP of this format.
Yeah, I try not to put too much stock in GP numbers because it like I don't want to get like personally invested in it as like how well my set is doing, but it seems like the overall trend is healthy.
Yeah. Well, around this time of year, I remember this time last year there was the fun toggle of Anarchist winning in July, Split in August, Anarchist in September, and then Split in October. Then we have now April you won, May I won, June you won. So maybe I could get the 2 for 2. Maybe.
Looking forward to it. We can both be +2 in Worlds.
Yeah, +2 in Worlds. I would be absolutely down to be +2 in Worlds. And then that would just mean that whoever is up against me in the finals gets into Worlds unless they are already qualified, which only 2 of the other competitors are qualified.
It's PTM, me, and Platty.
Oh, 3 of the other competitors. Yeah, because I forgot about
And
PTM
Stasis.
from Stasis isn't in the GP.
Right.
But yeah, I forgot that PTM qualified from League last year, or not last year, last season. But yeah, so unless my if I get to finals, unless my finals opponent is PTM, Platty, or you, my finals opponent will still get the qualifier, even if they lose.
We have been streaming for so long that 2 of the matches from round 1 are already happening.
Oh my god! Don't tell me they've already happened. Actually, they couldn't have happened because I just loaded the page.
They're in progress right now.
My goodness, who's playing?
Platty, Liz, Zangi, Viola.
I see. Yeah, they're jamming. Cool.
Yep.
I might tune into those matches then. So if you all enjoyed the stream, thank you so much for tuning in. It was wonderful to have you, Chip. This was a lot of fun. If you all want to check out Chip's content, link in the description below and in the stream title to her channel.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and you can check out the awesome GP run from last month.
It's boy, I've made so many bad comments during that GP run. I'm hoping to be more aware. But yeah, looking forward to recording more, getting better, and seeing your recordings as well.
Yeah, and thank you so much to Scribble for moving up the submission window and making sure things got locked in so we could get live sooner. Greatly appreciate it. And if you want to talk about how much great work people are doing, so much great work being done by Scribble organizing these tournaments and by the curator team for keeping the format rolling and keeping it interesting. Can't wait to get into some games. So from me and from Chip, thank you again for joining me on this, Chip.
Thank you. And
thank you to everyone who tuned in. This is a great stream, and seems like it'll be a great tournament.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night. Or good morning, depending on where you live. Either way, take care.